Hello, hello, hello. Y'all know I ain't shit. I don't never come on time. I'm horrible with that. But I did give my word to these gentlemen that we would make this shit happen. And so we are going to make this shit happen. Okay? I gave my word. I gave my word. All I got is my word and my character. I may be late. I am never on time. But if I said I was, then the fuck I am. So I am now. I'm here. It's taking me a minute because I got to get this shit together. You know what I'm talking about? But we do have some guests. They will be coming, and they want to get their shit off. And I'm gonna let them get their shit off. Absolutely, they gonna get their shit off. I am definitely turning on subscribers only mode because all I got is 293 motherfucking subscribers. Don't nobody fuck with me. That's what I be saying. You be over there in that live. Hey, Tex, what's happening, ponytail? Tex. You over there in that live. Don't nobody fuck with you. Hey, I fuck with me. I fuck with me real tough. So, hey, Ross. How you doing, boo? uh, no, Tex, I'm bullshitting why I set this up. Seriously though, y'all, this live is for my hometown. All right. Um, elections are Tuesday. Elections are Tuesday everywhere. Are y'all ready? Where y'all at? You know? Are y'all ready for elections? Because they are definitely here. I love the Phoenix. What's up, Tex?
Shit, I'm
Hi,
chilling.
Ron. How the fuck are you?
I'm chilling. Let me turn my music down. I don't want to fuck up nothing up in your live.
Oh, you good because I'm not monetized, baby.
She said, I ain't even monetized. Turn that shit up.
Hey,
Now, it's just a beautiful Saturday. You know, we down here in the South. The rain that came through, flooded some of Texas. You know what I'm talking about? Passed through
I got
LA.
blood.
Now it's probably on the Alabama, Mississippi type. You know what I'm talking about? But we roll like the wind and the rain. We keep it moving. Keep on pushing.
Absolutely.
What Tina Turner say? Big wheels keep on
Proud Mary,
turning and
keep
on.
on burning.
Yeah,
And
you
we
know what I'm talking about.
rolling, rolling on the river. That's what they be saying.
That's
Uh,
what she
are
say.
you ready for elections in your city?
Well, we got to what, the eighth, the ninth?
Tuesday.
Yeah, I do it like the taxes. I show up late. I'm the dude that come in there like a day late, dollar short, but I still get it done.
Oh, okay, okay. Hey, Nana, Nana. Look under the bathroom sink. So yeah, I got some guys from my hometown. The president of the NAACP, city councilman, got a few people that contacted me and said, "Hey man, elections is early voting is over. We got just the elections left. Where you at? We got some shit we need to get up. Get off." I'm like, "Well, all right, fuck it then. Let's go. I'll do the live." So initially, Tex, I told them that we would do. I think I said 3 or 4 streams. But I had a lot of orders that I needed to get out, I had shit. So yeah.
Said you would never touch me, but I knew that you were lying. Because once the Percocets, the Roxys, and hydrocodone are gone, I'll be on your mind. Or when they all stop working, I'll be your next in line. On the days when you have nothing, the stomach aches, the cold sweats and crying, you'll always remember that I'll make you feel just fine. But once you get a taste of me, I have you hooked like a bass on a fishing line. You'll tell me all your problems and I'll take them off your mind. You'll tell all your friends about me. You'll convince them to give me a try. But I'm nothing like the others. A little of me and you will die. First, I'll take your family. They won't recognize you by sight. Next, I'll take your soul and I'll hide it from the source of light. Last, I'll take your breath like a thief in the darkest night. Oh, you said you never touched me. Oh, how I wish that you were right. Fentanyl.
My question, that was some deep dog, but I was trying to equate what he was equaling out to. Was he talking about him or who was he talking about? What was his metaphor?
Uh, it was a poem from fentanyl to yeah. He's in recovery,
Oh,
so
fentanyl.
yeah,
Okay. Now I'm getting the drift up. I'm catching the drift. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
It took me. No, I was feeling what he was saying. I was like, hold on. Is he talking about him? But
So
no,
he
went through.
was he had actually
Hmm.
became addicted. Um, went through all of that, and then once he beat the addiction, and he came back and he reached back. So he now started a thing called Project Rebuild. We do recover, and
You
so
know what? That sound like some female live I was in last night. She was talking about something like that.
yeah,
They
and
might be connected.
nah, he don't fuck with nobody on YouTube. He don't even know how to come over here. I be trying to get him over here. That's my people. That's my well, he ain't my family. He my oldest daughter. That's her family. But he's my family, and I'm proud of him. But he fights in legislature to decriminalize addiction. So instead of you going to jail,
Decriminalize addiction.
yeah.
Oh,
So instead of you going to jail,
you
um,
get treatment.
you get treatment. Yeah, yeah. So he fights in on Congress.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's a lot of money into that because I seen when I was in a couple of southern states when I traveled through and I ran across a couple through. That's what I learned. Like the light and persuasion. That's what they'll give them, but then they'll give like the darker persuasion jail time or prison time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I used to question that, like, yo, how is it somebody could come in for like the similar same cases and these guys is getting prison time, but then you got a waiting list for the lighter persuasion, but they here on basically the same thing. You know, why are you not up? Because I know in Texas, if you actually state in court that you have a problem and you have an addiction, you know what I'm saying? They'll send you to treatment rather than send you somewhere where you're doing time and you're suffering a punishment for something that afflicted your life. You understand what I'm saying?
absolutely. Well, and so what happened was in 2003, the feds came to the state of Louisiana and the state of Texas, and they said, "Hey, man, y'all got way too many prisoners, nonviolent for nonviolent offenses. We will not build any more prisons for y'all. Y'all have to come up with programs for these people with these nonviolent offenses." Well, um, Texas did. The state of Louisiana, the sheriffs and lawyers and doctors, they all put their money together and started building camps. So yeah. Hey, Big Pressure.
Pressure, pull up.
So I got my guys pulling up. They trying to. Yeah, that's it. Yes, Jack, that's the
I'm gonna,
one.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna have to run to the store in a second. I need some chaser.
Oh, you good, because these guys gonna get their shit off. You gonna enjoy it. You can come up.
I'm just,
They
I'm
gonna
just,
talk
I'm just, I'm just, I'm just here to support and recruit. Come on up to the
absolutely.
panel. You know what I'm talking
Absolutely.
about?
Thank you, thank you. You got your mod stick, don't you?
All the way up top already. You know what I'm talking
Already,
about?
already. Raj, you still in here? Oh shit, I wasn't trying to do that. I hid Raj trying to give her a mod stick. Ain't that sad? But yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're gonna be touching on old Alexandria. Old Alexandria, my hometown.
You know, that's funny because I remember at one time I was thinking of names. I had a daughter, and that was at the top of the list.
Yeah, so I'll show you.
What's the history on Alexandria? Take me somewhere
I
because
got
you
you.
know,
I
I'm
got
thinking
you. I
like
got you. That's what I'm gonna
I'm
do
thinking like,
right
damn,
now.
I remember one time when I thought like that should be a great name for my daughter. So tell me some history on the name or the
I got
state
you.
or
I got you. I got you. I'm just blind as shit. I don't have my glasses on. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Now I need you to turn your music down so I can talk.
she said I need my music down. It's all the way down. Let's go.
All right. We got Jack here. Hey Jack, welcome to the
It's
stream.
all the way down. Let's
Hey,
go.
how's it going? You
All
just need
right.
to you
We
need
got
to
Jack here.
you need to clip and paste
Hey
that.
Jack, welcome to the stream.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me? You just
Yeah, you got a so Jack, you must have another tab open with YouTube. I need you to close that tab. So Jack, you must have yeah. I'm gonna unmute you when you close it because that's what causes the echo.
Or maybe you might have another app running which has us in the background, so it gives an echo.
can
There
you
we
hear
So
go.
me?
It
just
ain't,
turn it down.
Is it clear now?
Mute it.
you're clear now.
Yeah, you good. You good.
So I want to introduce Jack to you all. This is Mr. Jack Hinton, former president of the NAACP Alexandria chapter. He is the head reporter, author. What is your title with Urban Cash, Jack?
Jack of just a little bit of everything. How about that?
All right. So he does actually run and operate one of our local media sources. It is not mainstream. It's not, it's not huge, but he keeps us updated on what the hell is going on in our city. So when there's a shooting or a fire or a murder or a body found, Jack is usually on the scene and he's keeping us informed. So he is one of our panel guests. Y'all should have seen him here before. Hi, April. So, text to give you some history on our city. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I see it perfectly. I just wanted to ask Jack, from based on what you were saying, statistically, being that we're in the last quarter of this year, and she said basically you've seen it all. Are the statistics average? Are they lower? Are they higher? Are we doing something in the city of Alexandria? Tell me the statistically, numbers wise, how do you think things are going?
In reference to what in reference to what because I mean what's
Okay,
the
so they're gonna call me Crystal. Okay, so for my YouTube family, I told y'all I am undoxable. These are people in my real life, and they're gonna call me Crystal. I can ask them to call me Madam, but they probably gonna end up calling me Crystal because that's my mama's given. I would also like to welcome Mr. Slaughter to the stage. Hello, Mr. Slaughter. Mr. Slaughter is frozen. He will unfreeze and then come. But yeah, I'll pass the mic back to Jack.
Yes. So what particular type of stats are you looking for, bro?
Well, anything that's showing that you being, one of the heads of the NAACP and part of the city and trying to make your city productive, any numbers that show that you being there has impacted or made a change towards any statistical numbers that anybody would throw at you saying, hey, what are you doing?
Well, if you just want to kind of get a feel for Alexandria from a poverty standpoint, we are probably one of the most impoverished cities in the state of Louisiana. I think Louisiana is at the bottom of the barrel in the 51 territories that are actually measured. And so Alexandria hits the bottom of that list. I mean, the city as a whole sets at up, I think, about 26.9% poverty. So, and that's according to the federal standards. So when you look at us in comparison to poverty in the rest of the country, those are horrible numbers to start thinking about. In addition to that, that's the city as a whole. But when we start looking at um, certain uh, when we start looking at certain census tracts, like within the city of Alexandria itself, I mean, those numbers almost double in some cases. So, it doesn't look pretty at all when it comes down to crime. Um, Crime actually has statistically gone down from 2021 to this year, but still high for a city our size. As it relate to, I mean, education, and anywhere that you have, deep poverty, you're going to have all of those fringe benefits that come along with it. They are going to be, at the top of the list. So that's kind of where we are. As it relate to, have we seen anything get better here in the city of Alexandria? The numbers as it relates to poverty are increasingly getting worse, and unfortunately, the city actually, in my opinion, it sits uh, in a very good space in the state of Louisiana. However, our leadership has lacked the ability to ever attract industry to actually come into the city. You ask the question, how do we operate as a city? We operate as a city off of primarily the profits from a utility infrastructure that basically pays for our capital improvements and our operational costs. If you look at most cities in the state of Louisiana, most cities in the state of Louisiana operate off of sales tax and property taxes at a tune of around 70%. Alexandria only, in Alexandria's operational budget, property taxes and sales taxes only account for 18%. Uh, the profits from a utility system account for a little over 52%. When you look at the homes in some of the census tracts where the utilities are, um, where the poverty is the greatest. You look at folk that own fixed incomes, and utilities account for 80 to 90% of their monthly income, and in some cases, some odd cases, account for over what their monthly income is. So I hope that paints a little picture as to where we are from an actual standpoint, and it's pretty much that situation of the haves and the have-nots. You go on the west side of town, and you basically have a thriving and booming economy, all at the expense of the people from the southeast side of the town. So go figure. That's my story, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
So Jake, what he
Well, my
asked,
my my, my my main question
Hmm?
in part and partial to that was, and what are you doing to fix whatever you feel
Yeah,
like?
in the space that I'm in at this point in time, I hopefully I'm covering more than just the crime. Crime is it's definitely a thing. The different gotcha kind of stuff that's going on in the city, but we also couple knowledge. And so one of the things that we have to do is we have to make sure that our people begin to understand exactly what's going on. Like one of the biggest issues that irritates the hell out of me constantly is when our leadership talk about the idea of, let's say, I would like to have, and in reality, when you look at the disproportional amounts of money that's actually coming from the poorest areas in the town to actually keep the city functional, this is our stuff. You know what I mean? It's not like we're asking nobody else for the money. Shit, we pay more of we put more of the monies into the pot than
Jack,
anybody else in the community as a whole. So,
Jack,
you ask me what am I doing? Hopefully I'm helping to inform the people.
Jack.
Yeah.
All right. Let me break this down. Give me just 2 minutes, and I'm gonna break it down real
Yeah,
quick.
you
All
could be a
right.
little bit more clear with your question.
All right.
Welcome,
All right. Not
Quizu.
even with my
Welcome, Q Slaughter, to the stage.
not even with my question, with my statement, and let's make it better and make it make sense and make it happen.
Right.
Okay. How do you train the lions not to be savages? You might capture them and then feed them and then put them in a local circus, but that circus will help every community that we go through put into money, and it turns into a fair, and it turns into something that works for us. So if I'm in a community and I feel like, okay, the crime is up, this and that, I need to be intact with my people. The most things I probably need to do is either, if I can't offer shelter or something that they need to keep the crime down, because crime comes from something, a want, a need. Let me offer them food. You know what I'm saying? Let me come in, and when I give this free food, there's no type of service of we're taking money for the food, we're feeding the community. When I feed you, I will also offer this knowledge that you speak of, this knowledge that you want to give to the people, because that is more when they're in tune to listen, when their bellies are filled and you're giving them something that they might not get on a daily basis. My uncle, who was the NAACP president in a chapter in Mississippi, was also used to always instill in me there's some things that you never deprive a human being of. And one of those things is a meal each and every day, at least one meal. No child, no body, no one should be denied a meal. But then when you give a person a meal and you speak with them, you listen and then you speak, you know what I'm talking about? It gives them knowledge to something that they might be missing in life. And that sometimes becomes a key. And with that key, it sometimes unlocks a door that they need to follow and need to open. And that might be in your speech. Hey, city, we need to go here. I need y'all to follow me here. I am just a fisher of men. This is my fish. This is my bread. But look where we can go if we all are fed, if we all learn to listen to this knowledge that I'm putting out there. Because in a crime ridden city, it's only really crime because somebody thinks that their wants exceed their needs, or they have needs that haven't been granted.
It's exactly
And
what it is. We have a horrible economic structure here. People are hungry. They're starving. They're being forgotten about. They're being resources are being taken away from my community and reallocated elsewhere. Especially when it comes to the children. We have removed so many financial resources from the inner city children, and that was one of me and Jack's first arguments. And they were reallocated to the other side of town that they're building up. So I get your question, Tex. You holding his feet to the fire. You saying in the position that you were in, what was it that you did to try to help and change things? So his answer to you, Tex, was he was helping inform the people.
Yeah, and I will also say, from I get where you guys say when the bed, I I didn't get where you guys were coming from at first, but now that you guys you had an opportunity to explain yourself a little bit more, you know, as it relate to in the NAACP, the NAACP here locally had not done. I'm gonna try to remain as professional as I possibly can. Um, for 1 year, we did tons of helping to get food out to hungry kids during COVID. We sponsored a Warren clinic where we had over 500 and some odd participants that were able to get just simple um, warrants cleared. They couldn't get driver's license and different things of that nature. So on a per person basis, some of the analysis that we did after the fact, we saved each one of those participants anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 per person. So you multiply that times the number of people we serve, and it impacted them from a financial standpoint. I get you on that angle. So those were some of the things that we did as an NAACP branch. However, we actually had members in our branch who live off of or their main bread and butter is that of being an attorney that could charge somebody for those same particular services. They didn't see
Pause.
that particular program as a positive program, which was really odd to me. But the reality of it is, it is what it is. So, you see, in a city like we have here, you see a lot of people, even though some of us are working really hard to try to move us forward, we have some people who keep us right where we are because it's their way of living. And so that's kind of some of the things that we battle right now in the city. And in doing so, I had to move around to places where, I really feel like I could get something done. I don't want to waste time arguing a lot of times with our own people to try to get certain things done. Crystal and I'll talk about all the time. The city of Alexandria is a huge operation on a year-to-year basis, $300 million per year. And when you think about that, the majority of those finances actually come from the very said people who are being neglected and different things of that nature. And we do have some people who understand that. And I think, we get in that mode of saying, hey, gimme, 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 when hell, this shit is ours in the first place. Excuse my French about it, but I feel very passionate about it. It's
Yeah,
I
you,
was just gonna say, excuse me,
you're
y'all. We're
you're
gonna go.
right, Jack. You're you're right, Jack. But at the same time, the people who we get tired of explaining and arguing with, they have to take ownership of some of this themselves.
Oh,
Because
I concur.
if you want something different, you have to do something different. And just because you do something different and it doesn't work out, don't mean you run back to what wasn't working before. And that's a big problem, is you become comfortable in what you know, and you rather be in a comfortable place than in a place that's going to actually progress you. It takes pain to progress sometimes. Anybody who's done any working out know it ain't easy to get where you want to be. It's going
Let's
to hurt. You're going to not want to do it a lot. And the same thing comes with financial growth. It comes with economic growth. All of those things hurt to begin with. But the question is, are you willing to go through the pain and strife that our grandparents and grandparents went through for us to have the opportunities we have? Or are we able or willing to do the same thing for our grandchildren and great grandchildren to have a better opportunity than what we currently have? And
Pause.
if you look at
I
it, the
think that
answer is constantly no. Oh, I won't change. I won't change. But you're not putting action behind those words.
And Quinn, the one thing that I see, having been in the education arena, is that I see so many of us don't even know that we don't even know. We I hope you understand.
Yeah,
you we don't.
I understand. I understand because people, it's like the constant. I won't change. I won't change. I won't change. But somebody come. Oh no, that's dumb. No, we can't do that.
Hey, I
It works
feel like
fine this way. What do you mean you
I
won't
feel like
change
what
it? Stop talking about change if you're
Well,
okay
it's
with the
not.
status quo.
But I'm not
I,
even
I
talking.
feel like
I'm
what I
talking
got from that.
in a
I feel
very
like what I got
narrative.
from that when you said that, Slaughter, was like when I was listening to you and I'm trying to paint a picture. What the picture that came to my head is a picture of, yes, a man striving to accomplish goals, and then adjust this to politics, because politics will adjust you. I don't know if that kind of grasps certain people to understand, but when you get in certain places, it's like, okay, let me just do the norm. Let me just do
Yeah,
what brings
what?
in what makes certain things happy and certain areas happy, and the money keeps flowing in. That's why I was
But
speaking
see
more
that.
on, like, go ahead.
Not finish your thought.
That's why I was speaking more on, like, when we're in the situation and we start to feel the struggle and we're communicating with the people. It's not the I don't mean to throw you under the bus, Jack, but it's not like, okay, we're doing this for the statistics. Oh, we did this for 500 and da da da, and out of three such and such million, da 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 da. Okay, that's good, but it's about continuing the plan. That was the goal, to make this continuous, because when we're out here feeding the people, we're not only feeding them to their bellies, we're feeding them knowledge and directions and which way to go, because we're here with the people. We're rallying with you because we know what you need. So this is not basically for so I can go back and quote statistics. This is not basically so I can go back and be politics and be comfortable with the position I'm in and stay in this position. It's the fact that, nah, I'm out here putting in this groundwork, this legwork, this labor for you, the people, and I'm out here
Where we?
to give you the direction in which we need to go. And I'm not doing it today, tomorrow. No, this is a program that we're going to come out here and always feed you, but we're always going to point you in the right direction.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, brother, and that's good in theory, but the problem isn't the person that's doing the work, who goes in to do the work. The problem is the people that you're doing the work for, because I can be doing the most genuine work constantly and doing everything, and I give you those statistics to show you the progress, but because you're not feeling the comfort that you were feeling before with the person that you didn't think was doing a good job for you, you have a problem with me now. So I'm not doing my job because I'm not catering specifically to you, even though overall I'm doing what needs to be done for the betterment for everyone. And then you have those rotten apples that's going to constantly keep building stuff up and get more people to get on that bandwagon, and then it becomes a big popularity thing, or who's doing this and who's doing that. And that's not the purpose. The purpose is for sustained progress, and in order to do that, it takes a lot out of a person to fight a system, for one, but then it takes even more out of you when the people that you're fighting for is constantly talking down to you or talking down on you, when they don't want to take the time to educate themselves to understand exactly what it is that you're doing. Even when you're giving them the information, they still won't accept it.
Listen, they are continuing to funnel trillions of dollars into that conditioning. That's not by chance. Those people are they have think tanks and entertainment industry and Department of Education and commercials and programming. All of that is a part of that. People have been
You're,
conditioned to shy away from the uncomfortable truth.
I see
you're
what
right, but at the
Slaughter's
same time,
saying. Basically, Slaughter's saying, basically, if I'm putting so much of myself into the people, but I have a percentage of the people that have distracted ways, or they're basically fighting me while I'm fighting for them.
Correct.
Is that
You
what?
gotta fight the motherfuckers you fighting for to fight for them.
Yes. and
That's
and
exactly
you
what
you,
it
you
is.
got to think about the not only the toll that it pays on the person who's actually fighting, but what about when it starts affecting your family, your kids, your spouse? Because those are things that you have to think about too. And then at that time, you know what I'm saying, especially if you're someone who's really passionate about it and there's another avenue for you to be able to do your passion, and it's like, okay, which one is best, most beneficial for me and my family? Because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, if you're doing it, you're doing something. Me, I'm doing what I do for the betterment of myself and my family. I want my kids, my
This
grandkids, my great grandkids, my nieces, my nephews, my cousins, friends in my family, people that I know and love and care about. I want to leave the world better for them, you know.
now
And
that I'm
when
listening to you, it
uh-huh.
makes me feel like I approached it from just the outside looking into a glance, but now that I'm hearing you speak and me dialect with you, I'm feeling like goddamn me, Nino and New Jack City and Scandal, Kerry Washington. Oh my, you know what I'm saying? It's like the politics thrown into the aspect of having to be in the streets, having to be in the neighborhood and deal with my people that I'm trying so hard to work for, and then y'all creating propaganda against me when I'm trying to work for you.
Yeah,
Do
yeah. Because like a lot of times somebody who's really versed in politics or information, certain information, they don't always come off as personable to people, because if I'm trying to do something and that's my focus, I'm going to be focused on that. And I can only take so much time to break it down for you to understand it. That's not going to take away from me doing my purpose. And then
It's like
people get mad. And when you try to show them the results, and I can show you the results of it, but because I'm not as personable as you would like for me to be, I'm a bad person and I'm not doing what I need to do for you. And that's always, you know what I'm saying, a hard thing to balance, being personable and actually getting the job done. It can be done,
you know?
but not everybody has the ability to do it. And you know what most suits you, a personable person or a person that's getting the job done for you. You know, everybody likes to
I
party,
think
but
that's
I mean, long-term
I think
results.
that's I think that's when certain standards get out of play because then people start to think I don't even know you, Slaughter, but I can consume that you're of some type of level of intelligence where you could play a position in certain politics. But then that's when it gets out of play when people start after you start to lead, people start to say, "Oh shit, excuse me, pardon my French. Oh snap, I can do what he's doing. I feel a certain type of way myself, and I know a certain type of people might back me because I feel this. But then you're taking away from the obligation that Slaughter has put himself in for the people. He has sacrificed for the people to stand up here to lead in a certain standard, but then you're looking at propaganda just to oppose, to be an opposition, to be at my standard. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm getting a glance. I'm getting a picture. I don't know if it adds up or tallies up to what you're seeing, but I'm seeing a stance of what you're saying. Like you could work so hard to try to be what the people need and get what they need, but then you will still approach opposition from the same people you're trying to help with their own mind states of what they want, but they're not seeing the whole plane of what you're playing because you've analyzed it to be able to say, okay, we've been through this, this is the change we need. But now you're just trying to stagnate the change because of, yeah, and that comes with that, you know what, I've noticed that on this YouTube thing too, not just with just like trying to bring up our people, but even with, you know, I'm sorry, I'm going off your thought. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
You good. You good. What was you about to say, Chris?
Um, I don't remember. Until Tech said I started sending out the link to the live, to Harry Hayes and Jock Roy and Lorenzo Davis. That's what I was doing over there while y'all was politicking. But Ponytail Tex, you are absolutely right. I think Mr. Slaughter should definitely be in a position to lead. But unfortunately, where we are, human nature, the masses, is fucking sad, sick, and pathetic. People, you would think that people want someone who actually gives a fuck about them. Okay, I'm not politically correct. I'm not going to try to be. And the reason is because the things that are being done to us is done in such a beautifully said and written letter and broadcast, but what they're doing is ugly as fuck. It's not pretty. So I don't pretend to speak with my very vast vocabulary on the subject matter, because it's time out for all that. Look how these people, look how the whole country let Joe Biden tell them, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Kamala Harris, she all of a sudden carrying hot sauce around in her fucking purse. Girl, shut the fuck up. You know, like, and I'm not going to be her. I'm going to be unbiased. I'm going to provide a platform where people can come and speak truth, where someone who doesn't know has an opportunity to come and learn, and where men such as Slaughter and Jack, and I don't know what top troll Nat Turner at right now. He must be driving, but I know he going to come through and provide truth. And
But you
unfortunately,
know,
go ahead.
When you get on the stance of truly politics, until everyone in the country who's of voting age gets to the point where they say, hey, listen, we all know it's corrupt and jacked up. What are we going to do about it?
Correct.
Until everyone gets to that point, we're going to keep dealing with the same things over and over. And the crazy thing is, it's been solutions presented, but people won't take the time to educate themselves and see exactly how much it's going to benefit. You know, there's like here locally, there are people who get millions and millions of dollars to run a local campaign. That's unnecessary.
Think about what
You know,
that
like
money
it's
do.
yeah, you got to think about what it does, but the bigger thing is, if the voters say, listen, we need to limit how much candidates can spend in each election from whatever
But see,
position it is, that would
that's
even
what
the
I'm
playing
saying.
Hold
field,
on,
right?
let me talk.
What I'm saying is, it would even the playing field, because if every congressman only got to spend $10 million total, if every governor only got to spend $5 million total, I'm not saying those exact numbers, but that would give everybody who's running the same latitude, because you only got so much time and so much money to get your message out there, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
I
Look,
can't
hold on.
outspin you. No, hold on. Let me finish text. And the reason why I
Go
say
ahead, go
that,
ahead.
because with everything, that's like my example is gonna be with music. Everybody's heard a stupid song, but when the radio or TV forces it down your throat mentally 1,000 times a month, it's programming. You know what I'm saying? Repetition programs the brain to something that you think is stupid to begin with, that you become liking because you've heard it so many times. That's the way we learn, by repetition. So whoever spends the most money and gets their message across the most times is most probably going to be the person that's going to win, to people who don't take the time to really educate themselves. They just get indoctrinated by repetition versus actually seeking facts. But if you limit
Okay,
that,
man.
then you know what I'm saying, everybody's going to get the same amount of exposure to you. And all I can do is decipher between what I got. I ain't got your message 1,000 times and somebody else's message only 100 times, because the one that I hear the most is most probably going to be the one that my subconscious is going to register with if I'm not a progressive thinker.
Uh,
Okay, now Pac said by 97 we gonna be into politics. Now I say that to say everything you say is correct. Now let me put some little sauce on it. Okay. You just broke down numbers, and that's what I like, numbers. The numbers that these artists make. And how many times do you hear people say, yo, that nigga did so much and da 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 da, but he ain't put nothing in the hood. He got all these millions. Okay, and then you just reference politics and the money that they make, the money that they make from bills and acts and certain things that they pass, certain programs that they put into. Now, when you break down 5 million, 2 million, like you said, because it's in the millions and the billions that these politics are basically talking about where the money is going to go. That's all politics is. It's like, hey, I'm speaking up to say we deserve more money to go over here because such and such on these grounds. Okay, we'll give you this money to see what it produces. What I said from Jump Street is feeding the people. When we break down all this 5 million, 10 million, this and that, bro, I have a live where I say what it takes to raise a child. It doesn't take millions and millions. See, we've got out of sync of the money and what the money will do and what we can get and this, that, and that. Bro, if we're feeding our community, I'll take. See, the thing is, I think realistically, me as being Tex, give me the 5 million. And that's the bottom portion of when I went to this political meeting and I was probably asking for 6, but you gave me 5. But I already have a plan of feeding my people and giving them knowledge and having them follow me, because who are people going to follow? The people that can make them survive each day and feed them every day and teach them something good. It doesn't take 5 million to last me 1 year with a whole community of my people. I can make this happen, and this can sway the votes. This can make you listen to me. People are going to follow me if I'm right and they see I'm right and I'm out there with them and I know what they want. And at the same time, I'm in politics and this is where we're trying to sway the vote to. Now, y'all putting too much money into programs that are not being broken down and giving back to the people. Just like you mentioned with rappers, all this money and da 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 da. That's why Pac said, "See me in another year and see where we gonna be, because we're gonna
Hey,
take all this money we
that's
getting
my
and we're going to put it right back into our people, because the people are gonna dictate who we become to run this country. We gotta feed the people. Them 500 million, them 5 million, 10 million, them billions, bro, you got to buckle that down like you just the average hustler. If you a real hustler, you know how to create a plan and stack money and get your people behind you to see what the deal is that you're trying to move. Money moves people. Yes, it inspires people. But guess what? The necessities of this earth, if you provide that with the money that you're getting, they will follow you. We're not putting it back to our people and giving it to them so it won't be crime. All this propaganda of crime and activities of the guns, that was everything that they brought to us. They brought guns to us. They brought crime and the awareness of I can take.
You
No, we
know,
were a community. We need to
listen.
get back to our community.
pass the mic, Tex.
Let me say this, Tex. I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on crime, especially from the aspect of the teenagers. Like when I was younger, teenagers were door greeters, people who did bagging, who worked at McDonald's, who did lawns in the summer, to have something to do and to, start a little business. Now, because of all of the changes, you rarely have those jobs where you have those 16, 17, 18 year olds doing that, because now you have 30, 40, 50, 60 year olds doing those jobs. So if there's no job for the teenagers to do, and then there's no recreational centers for them to do anything in constructively, what else is there to do? And
You
then you
take
see
the
negative
funding.
stuff constantly thrown at them on social media, you know. And if you really think about that, everybody know about social media and the algorithm, as they say, but everybody is still on TikTok, even though we know that TikTok has an algorithm to throw out negativeness to us in this country and only positive stuff
I
to
have
the
the
country
solutions. I
that is
have the
hosted in.
answers. I'm Sway.
You know what
I'm
I'm saying?
Sway. I
Hold
got
So
the
on,
answers. I'm
wait,
sorry. I'm
y'all.
Kanye.
We gonna
I
one
I
mic.
hear
Wait,
all this.
I,
This is everything
wait,
we've been talking. I
stop.
you're right. But what I'm
We're gonna
saying
one
is,
mic.
even though we know this, I can't force feed it to you. You know what I'm saying? I can give you the water, take you the water, whatever. What you do with that water is on you.
and that's what I'm saying.
And
I'm the Kanye,
that's
bro.
the no,
I hear
even
everything.
Kanye can't no man do that.
Hold on. I hear
Jesus
everything you're
didn't.
saying. I hear everything you're saying has been preached to the choir. I'm Kanye. I'm the answer, Sway. I'm here to give you the answer. You take the funding and you feed the people because everything you just said, people can. What do people go to work for? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you what God loves. People work every day so that they can either give up the facade that they got a nice house and a nice car and their life is nice, but they're feeding their family or they're feeding themselves every day. People work their whole life to pay off a mortgage and pay off a house to be able to own something. Some people get the benefit of already having that or inheritance or passed down or being able to come up with a job where they can pay for that. Now they just got to make sure that they fed every day so that they can keep living. So what you do because people are working these jobs that you're talking about and got to do this and that's, bro, if you cut out the inflation on food is going to go up because that is a necessity. If we put the funding back into programs that will feed the people and we actually out here, not with these old perishable ass good, no, we cooking down home, Southern Louisiana, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi meals and we give it out at least once a day, that will keep you fed. That will, and plus I'm giving you a message once because see, everybody's on the internet. But if I
But you
give
know
you a
something though?
place where you can come, if I hold on. Let me just say this last part. If I give you a place where you can come, eat, hear the knowledge that you need to know for our community to make our community better, and give you the access to being Wi-Fi capable and get on your social such. After you get my little whatever, go about your way. Guess what? You'll be back tomorrow, and tomorrow turns into a new day. Tomorrow turns into a new day. But I'm giving you the message daily. It's being trained into you. We're keeping our people away from certain things because we're training. That's what misses in our community, the love. And love comes from the food that we feed each other, the knowledge we feed each other, because there's so much out here distracting our people, feeding them BS. We take the funding and we put it directly back into our neighborhoods and build our neighborhoods and we show them where we're trying to go because they're the ones that's going to take us there. But you can't allow the people to take you there if you don't show them nothing. If they don't believe in nothing, they ain't gonna take you nowhere, bro. I'm telling you, feed the people. That's all I'm saying. Slaughter, you gonna understand me later.
I
You know what I'm
I
saying?
hear you,
That's
but
how God works.
it's that's not it though. It's not about feed the people. You got to teach the people to feed themselves. But only those who are willing to learn are going to do that.
Let's go.
It's one thing that I learned a while ago is that just because I want something good for you, don't mean that you want the same thing. And I
Correct.
can never, or you should never expect more of a person than they expect of themselves. because all you're doing is setting yourself up for failure. Because my expectations for you can't be greater than your expectations for yourself. You set the bar for what limits you yourself. So that's the thing. Like how it goes back to everything with people saying they won't change, but what are you willing to do to see that change? You can talk about it all day long. The phrase "don't talk about it, be about it." You got to walk the walk, and you got to be the change that you want to see. If you're not trying to do that, then you really don't want change. You're complacent and you want to complain about something and you want somebody else to fix your problems. And that's not the way that everyone gets ahead, by having someone else fix their problems. You got to be willing to do your part to help fix your own. We can help each other out, but we can't do it for each other.
Say that
Go
last
ahead,
part. I
Jack.
didn't hear you.
Well, that's
Say that.
facts. You give a
I think
man
I
a
didn't hear
vision.
it. What was that last part he just said? I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
hear it.
Oh no, I was just saying, go ahead, Jack.
No, but right before you said that, it's like you got muffled. I didn't hear you. I hope the audience heard you. It sounded like it was something good. I didn't hear it though. You got to give them something, and you went muffled. I'm sorry.
But
He was just saying what I heard was, um, you can't just feed people. You got to teach them how to eat. Those who are willing to learn, you got to teach them how to cook for themselves. You got to teach them how to feed themselves, because if not, you're crippling them. I think that's what you said.
Yeah, it was something like that. Then he said it
yeah,
was something that last note. It was like the note, the ringer, but it went muffled. I was just trying to be on point with it. That's all.
hopefully she recorded it, because I don't remember, but I don't practice speeches, and I say what comes to my mind. You know what I'm saying? That's relevant, and then it's out there. You know, that's
Hey,
the other thing.
Already,
Once you put it out in the universe, it's gonna do what it's supposed to do.
hey, hey,
already.
hey, Quinn. I hear what both of you guys are saying, but I'm gonna go back to kind of a little bit of something that I said a little earlier. In analyzing the problem that's kind of unique to us here in Alexandria, um, I concur with you. You definitely got to have that will to want to see some change. If you're at a point and you want to get to another level, you got to have that will to want to change. But as an educator, one of the things that I have seen, and I don't want to repeat myself, but what I'm saying is, I, bro, when you sit down and you talk and you're talking amongst a group of people, and, and they're 24, 25 years old, and Quinn, literally, they have never been outside of the area of Rapides Parish and Grant Parish. It really puts you back as to you know just what people what they have framed as a norm in their life. And so that's why I was saying earlier, it's got to be a big educational component in what we are doing, because we got to get to a baseline of what people actually understand. You and I probably sit in on a civics class and a free enterprise class and a basic government class and all that kind of good stuff. But man, they're not even teaching that in the school anymore. And
Hey,
so,
question, Jack.
huh?
Question. If I built a cafeteria for people to congregate one time every day at a certain time, and in between that, I gave them a message and I gave them resources of where to go to get these skills that you're talking about.
In
I'm
Alexandria,
offering them.
ain't nobody coming, Tex. Ain't
No,
nobody.
listen. This is the funding I'm talking about from sir, because program some I forgot who said, um sometimes when money is put to something, something has to be shown. You have to have something that I can see physically that I'm gonna put more money into. So if I was taking that off the speech that was told to me personally, knowing the situation, I've thought about this over decades. I would create a cafeteria where you can not only come, sit down and eat, have a great meal, but some type of message is given, and with that message, resources to where we can back this up. So kind of like what Jack is saying on how the community, even though I give you the knowledge, you're going to need the place to go. You're going to need the resources to know how to accomplish your goal. You see what I'm saying? I'm just vibing off y'all. I'm sorry, Jack. I cut it you. Please
No, no.
continue.
I wanna bring your attention though, because I get what you're saying. So now I'm gonna show you this. This is I've featured this company and this person before in some of my lives. Her name is Miss Kanisha Smith. And that's exactly what she did. She opened up Club Cares, an organization that helps train new and existing business owners. It's a 6-week course. You go to class once a week. They help you to build your business plan, show you how to apply for business grants. I think it may be like $50. You pay $50 and it's local. And you have some that take advantage of it, but not many. You have some that throw resources and finances her way and support, but not many. See, here's the problem. Is because you have more people who, instead of saying that is the most brilliant thing you can do, especially now when everybody's a budding entrepreneur, that's great. She's helped start the Black Chamber of Commerce here locally. So you would think that every nigga in the city, dope boys and all, would push money and resources her way, right? But you don't. You, in fact, have a group of niggas who, if she do plan something, or her or Slaughter, or anybody do, they gonna plan a party that night. A big ass party. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, the masses is gonna go where they are entertained versus where they are fed. Something that could allow them to feed themselves. This is why entertainers get paid 6, 7, 8 figures to entertain us versus the educator who can still file for fucking food stamps. You understand what I'm saying?
And I had this discussion today with a gentleman out of South Dallas. And you're completely correct. But to add on to it, to upper echelon it, what she's doing is great. But what I'm speaking on more is like not only just that resource, all or many more resources where you can go somewhere and find something out. And to speak on what you was talking about, to get back to like the conversation I had today, yes, you are correct, because that's what we as Black people do and the industry does against us, is put us to controverse each other, to compete against each other. If, like I was telling, I
Question.
understand what you're saying. That's like all right, Drake dropped the album, and a lot of artists are saying, okay, I'm not dropping that today. I'm pushing my shit back. But it used to be the industry, the label used to push this shit back in case of certain things. But now I was telling like my homeboy, why shouldn't it be that on days when we of Black people are doing something so elegant, all of us support each other in that day. Tomorrow is a great day. We can we're all going like all right, pardon me, the Takeoff death is all over social media. But why isn't it that when we as Black people do something great, we all don't support that one person or that one business in his day of greatness, so we all can thrive off of it and support it? And then we do the same thing the next day. We don't have to be controversial towards each other.
Oh, I have the answer for you on that question.
That was the conversation we were having.
You want to know what it
is? Go ahead.
You want to know the answer to that question about the things on the social media? Is that we don't have a social media where we control the algorithm.
Let's go.
Keep everything. The algorithm shows you what they want you to see. And what they want you to see, everyone in the world, they want to see black people doing stupid stuff. And
Nigga
guess
shit.
what? Even black people enjoy watching other black people do stupid stuff.
Oh, Miss
See, my
You
Kanisha,
hardly
you're
see
here,
you
my
you
point.
hardly
guys.
see any posts of black people doing positive stuff. And when you do, you don't share it. So it doesn't go viral, it doesn't get the numbers, it doesn't tweak the algorithm. So then you go right back to normal. So
Right. See,
until there is that, you know what I'm saying, intentional with everything that you're saying about the money and the education and all this, you have to have the same intentionalness with young black kids, because science has
exactly. And
proven that
my point with it
up until
is
age
hold up,
7,
hold the
age
scientist.
no
Hold
no
up,
let,
hold up.
let, let me
Hold
My
finish
on,
my
point,
point.
Tex.
my point.
Wait,
Let me
Go
wait,
finish
ahead,
wait.
my
go ahead,
point,
go
One
ahead,
Tex.
go
mic.
ahead, go ahead.
One
Because
mic.
age 7, we gotta get these kids before age 7 to understand that life is bigger than where you grow up. Life is bigger than being an athlete or a rapper or an entertainer. Life is bigger than that until age 7. So the stupid stuff, it ain't cute when he's 6 months, 18 months. It ain't cute if it's stupid. If you're not gonna have the same laughing ability when he's 7 when they do it, don't laugh at it when they're that young and they do it. Yeah, they don't know no better, but they chase the energy that you give them, and that laughter is a huge energy, whether you realize it or not, because kids can't communicate verbally. They feed off of energy, positive and negative. Negative energy makes them cry. Positive energy makes them try to do something else to get the same positive energy again. So once you feed something that's negative with positive energy to a kid, they're going to continue chasing that. And then we have
Okay,
problems.
my point was more to the power of the algorithm.
You, you,
UNITY,
you,
such as Queen Latifah, hold up,
you,
such as
you're,
Queen
you're, you're
Latifah
right.
made have said, whereas we should more be to where, okay, like let's take Instagram. You can go on Instagram and you can just hit your stories, and all day is different people talking about different things in their lives. But then when a situation such as takeoff takes off, you see the RIP, this hit different. Oh, this hit home. And it no, it should be when I go on Instagram, all my black people are notifying me of one particular thing that we are all supporting as black people for the day. And if I haven't been hip to it, I'm hip to it now. I can check it out. If I don't like the dude, if I don't like the company, I don't know. I don't got to check it out. But hey, I still am notified to it. Then, you know what I'm saying? The next day we on to whatever we are promoting as our people. Or even if the month proceeds, we're still putting post of that us as a collective because we are promoting this to our people. It shouldn't be that, you know, uh it's so many things. This life is so surreal that there are so many things going on at one time. But that's what I'm saying. Like to create controversy or conflict or sales of numbers, we're playing their game. We need to play our game as the collective of what we are promoting together as a people so we can all support it because it comes back to us. You see what I'm saying? Because every
You,
time
you,
I look up, go ahead.
I say you're right. You're right. But the thing is, you know what I'm saying? The us part is too many individuals that want to be seen as individuals. And it's bad because it's not that you want to be seen, it's that you want to down other people in order to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Pimp said,
All right. Give
Pimp
your
said, I
intent.
don't
Go
want
ahead.
the whole pie, I just want a slice. Right. And that one, you know what I'm saying, bar says a lot about his thinking. And you look at the things that he did, he helped out a lot of people, no matter what you want to say about him. But that's the thing, Brother Jay Morrison put a question to a panel of a lot of people who people consider to be very influential. When are we going to get together and say this is who we are. This is what we represent, and come together on some stuff, like really, really come together versus
For
all these individual movements toward
Oh,
something
oh,
and individual things. Go ahead,
okay,
Jack.
for
Quinn,
example,
I
for
have,
example, go ahead.
I have, I'm gonna bring this down to reality on something we can really touch, something that we here in Alexandria can, we can look at it. Recently, we had a mayoral debate, and on the night that we had the mayoral debate, we also had the Louisiana Congressional Black Caucus in town on the same night at the same time that we have a mayoral debate. The debate was scheduled first. Then subsequent, there were folk who sent out messages about um, to a certain segment of the population here in town about the Louisiana Congressional Black Caucus coming to town. When you look at that and you try to analyze what happened there, you know, you definitely would believe that the person who was chairing or hosting the Congressional Black Caucus coming to town would have been aware of a mayoral debate going on at the same time, especially given the fact, we have a black sitting mayor. And again, I'm just stating the facts that are out there. But yet and still, what happened at a real high level here in town was we put on two conflicting events at the same time, and the African American or blacks in the community needed to be in both places. Let's try to digest just that happening. That's something that we can put our hands on, and it seems like it has an analogy of what we are talking about here with what's going on in the entertainment industry. So when our leadership, the question that I would have is, when our leadership purposely schedule something of such a magnitude at the same time, what should we as individual citizens, what should we do in response to situations when that occur? Because to me, this wasn't this wasn't a computer algorithm. This wasn't Facebook manipulating into what we do. This was people.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you asked that question. Which one was scheduled first? Which one was scheduled first, Jack? The mayoral debate? Hello?
I feel like even with his response or not, because we're past that, we're moving past looking back. How we should go forward and think about it and proceed if it happens again is we celebrate. And how do we
Yeah, but you
celebrate?
you you
How do we
you
hold up? Hold up? How do we celebrate? Is if we know they pulled this stunt, even after knowing they pulled it before, we celebrate for another 6 days and we promote it and we showed feedbacks and clips and we still promote it like it's going to come up another 7 days that they missed, like it's coming up 7 days later that they missed. You see what I'm saying? Because that was what it was there for. It was there to cause controversy. So we breed off the controversy to push our point, but we're in a celebration state of celebrating what we're trying to accomplish. You cannot stop the struggle or the progress.
yeah, but he asked what do we do? The answer to that is which one was scheduled first.
In a
And then
mayoral
on
day.
top of that, on okay, the
Yeah, I,
mayoral debate. Now,
and be,
which one is going to affect your life on a daily basis the most? The
and
mayoral debate or what happens from the Black Caucus?
right, and so Quinn, so to answer your question, where I don't want to dwell on the past. Certainly, Rafiki told us about. but I really want to move forward on just how we deal with it as we move forward.
Get out.
So to answer your
Get out.
question, Quinn,
Hold on.
the mayoral debate was scheduled first, and then subsequently, the Congressional Black Caucus coming to do a town hall meeting was scheduled second.
For me, that mimics something that happens a lot. You know what I'm saying? And they say, call a spade
Recall,
when you see it. Like
yeah.
my thing, how many candidates is going to be in the Alexandria mayoral pool right now? How many candidates are there?
There are five.
5. Okay. What's the numbers? I like to do things by the numbers, me, right? So
What
you
number?
have
Look, no,
I'm about to get it to you. I'm gonna get it. I don't have a problem getting into it. You have 3 black candidates, 2 white candidates, correct?
right, correct.
All right. So that numbers itself. We have about a what? It's almost 50-50, a little over 50% black
You talk
population in the city of Alexandria.
the black population in the city of LA.
65%.
65%. Look, look at that. That's almost an even split of 20% of the population for each candidate with a little bit of overage. Guess what? That don't make sense to put yourself in a statistical situation like that. If you're a politician and you know what you're doing, statistically speaking, that's a runoff for whoever's going to get the most votes, right? So that's not a runoff for who the best candidate is. That's a runoff for whoever's going to get the most votes. So automatically,
I object, my
you're
prince.
putting
I object, my prince.
the election in a bad position because
Objection overruled.
you're putting the election as a popularity contest instead of a who's the best candidate contest,
Okay,
right?
okay.
When you put that many people in it.
You read
So
some more. You read some more into the equation, Quinn Slaughter. I wanted you to stick with just.
I did.
You added some more.
No. See that, and that's my thing. You know, I'm a big picture person. I can focus on the small because I want to look at the detail of it, but I need the big picture, and that's the problem. Is most people don't want to look at the big picture to
Correct.
understand what they
No,
need to do with the small.
Hey,
You know,
hey,
the
hey,
small
hey.
small
no.
picture is always cool, but you got to look at the big picture of things too, because
No. I'm
in
not into the big or the little picture, Quinn. I was trying to focus on the situation. I think when you add the element that you add to it, you add a different layer to the whole equation. Which that question and that answer should have been asked even before we got to the question of scheduling major events on the same night. You understand what I'm saying? So I
very
get you.
very true,
Okay,
very
I
true.
get
But
on your
that's my point. That's all a part of it.
right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you scheduling major events on the same night, but what I'm saying is that's the common theme is you're putting too much in to divide people up too much on important topics and
So
important
I'll say this.
situations.
So
You know what I'm
so
saying?
united.
That's a purposeful division instead of being united on all things and taking the time to
But
do them separately.
I think what Jack is saying is not that he's doing it, but is that it's being done. And how do we approach that knowing that it's being done?
Right.
You said,
That's
and what I got,
where that's
hold on. Give me 20 seconds. And what I got from it, like I said before, is the celebration part. Because the whole thing of what are you doing is to bring in numbers, to bring in votes. So what we're going to do is parade our last intervention for the next 6 to 7 days, clips, whatever. Anybody that didn't know, now you know what we're trying to bring. The whole thing about politics is what you bring in, the numbers you bring in. okay, that night they did something to oppose us, but we're going to conquer the next 6 to 7 nights to make sure that anybody, until whatever we're trying to accomplish gets accomplished. We can't be salted by the salted facts of what they did to oppose us. No, we got to think of countermeasures as a solution. We're
Oh, okay.
coming up with solutions, not being
Yeah.
stagnant.
Okay, so
No.
so so my question then to you, Tex, it would be, okay, tangibly, we got these two things on the table, and you know, you can put the analogy down there, and both of them look kind of, you know, they were part of the same strategy as Quinn suggested. You know, same, you know, a different thing, but same strategy. Let's divide it. Let's conquer it. Let's do exactly what we did when they were on the plantation. Okay, but so when you say, when you use the terms that we should celebrate it. So if we're looking at this particular fact from, you know, Quinn stepped us back a little bit, and we start talking about when qualifying occurred, we ended up with two white folk running and three black folk running. Crystal just said, you know, the racial breakdown is almost 60% black. That's pretty much 20% on either one of us. If they have a coming together on their side, it looked like one of them will be in the runoff for a race. We didn't see that picture, but we fell for the old okey doke all over again. Now you suggest we celebrate that. Describe what that celebration would look
The
like
cel-
at
the
the
celebration is
hold
whatever.
Finish.
The,
I gotta
oh, go
respect
ahead.
each other.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
not objecting to you, bro. I just want you to tell me, show me what that celebration should have looked like on the spot
Okay.
when we saw three black guys go down there and qualify for the race. How should that
Okay.
celebration look? Tell me what you mean when you say celebrate.
Okay. So basically, I'm given a stage of 5. Am I correct?
Yeah, you got a stage of five, three black, two white.
I got them
Okay.
up on the screen.
And okay. So what I'm celebrating as whatever I am to the people, if the people know me, I'm celebrating the cause, the awareness, and the goal I'm trying to accomplish. So we know that they set up this is one meeting between 5 on this one night, but then we had another meeting of certain other sorts that night. You see what I'm saying? So if it's two different things opposing, I'm still going to celebrate my cause and bring awareness. Now, if you're stating on what I'm hearing you talk about is how should we celebrate, being that this is 5 different people on a panel trying to initiate each individual cause for a vote. After that night, my opposers have given me what they stand for. I might also see. I think the thing with politics that we haven't got past yet is the fact that some of these people may be standing on the same cause that I'm standing for and the people stand for, but I'm too arrogant in my self righteousness that I want to be the standard. Maybe I need to align, but that's when the money comes in of the politics, because it's like, no, we put this into you for this. No, sometimes we have to align, and that's where
Text,
the
I'm gonna give you an
right.
example. I'm gonna give you an
That's
example. Look at this. You see this? What I'm showing you now is the qualified candidates for the city council position from a neighborhood all three of us on this panel have connections and ties to. This young man at the end, Reverend Clarence Reed down here, he was recorded in AT&T 2 years ago. He was on a campaign to recall Gerber Porter next to him, who is the sitting councilman. He went to AT&T to go get him a phone. He started flirting with the young ladies in there. They hit the record button. He then admitted to a federal crime and said that a past white politician had paid him to run for office and get rid of Gerber Porter. I took that recording to his campaign team, and he from that neighborhood. And I said, hey, man, they about to run this shit on y'all. If this is what y'all doing, this shit is not cool. It's federal offense. The very next day, he dropped the recall. He didn't want to do it no more. That was 2 years ago. Right now, he's still running. And guess what? You got plenty of people saying that they're going to vote for him because he's from there and he know the hood, but he's already told you that he's been hired.
Yeah, but see, my thing was a breakdown in numbers, right? And that went to show the divisiveness of everything. Just like you're saying, 4 candidates for 1 seat for 1 district. Who's more qualified? 5 candidates. Who's more qualified?
Right, because
it's like
the cool thing comes into split votes. When it comes into
exactly, but that's what I'm getting at. Text. What I'm getting at is right now in the primary, the vote is split. I personally see with 5 candidates, it's going to be a runoff. So it's going to be a popularity contest on Tuesday. And then in December, it's going to be, okay, now which one of these people is the better candidate for the people who are going to actually take the time to go out and vote in December? Because everybody who votes on Tuesday or who's voted early voting and all of this, half of them people not going back to vote in December. See, that's the thing. That's the bigger picture. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody probably was somewhere else with the division and the 3 and the 2. It's the bigger picture. It's the runoff election. That's the problem. Most people don't get off to go do runoff elections because it's not national. It's not a national election day. So you don't have the liberty of your job having to let you go and vote on that day again. National election day, you have to be allowed to vote, but not on runoff election day.
And if you ask me, that's the whole reason that they get in there and split the votes, because y'all might turn on an issue, but you ain't coming back.
That's my whole point when I say the bigger picture.
Yeah.
See, you always have to look at not just the macro, the micro. You got to look at everything. You got to look at the big picture and the little picture. But some people get so caught up in the little that they forget about the big until it's too late. At that point, I got you. Once I got you, there's nothing that you can really do.
So when it comes down to it, basically comes down to what the representative is representing, and do I feel he's the best candidate for what he's representing? Is it for me? Weighing the good with the bad. Weighing the good with the bad. Really.
But that's the problem, right? So you can weigh the good with the bad, but at the same time, here's the thing. Example. Only example. If one of those candidates was my friend and one of those candidates was my family, both of them would expect me to vote for them. But what if neither one of them were the best candidate? That's why I say it's a popularity contest and not on who's the best candidate contest.
That's why then that's when you take your feelings out of it and think about what's in the best interest.
Exactly.
Now you know what this makes me think of? You know what this makes me think of? Because you're speaking on Alexandria, and now I just put it on a bigger scale in my mind, and I'm like, oh my God.
That's nationally. That's national.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This big popularity. This sounds like high school.
Most people never mature out of high school. Let's just be honest. You look at what we do and what we see on YouTube. Look at what we do. Look in y'all local cities. I mean, you still have people 35 and older who jonesing on people because of what brand shoes they got on, what brand clothes they got on. You would think at some age they would understand that it ain't about that. Especially
And
looking
you
at
know
the
what?
rich motherfuckers who gonna wear some old blue jeans, some old Vans, and a white T-shirt, and they sitting with trillions of dollars in their goddamn accounts. But
And,
that's what we deal with.
and you know what? That made me think of the pressure to vote. How much we're pressured to, or distracted, better yet, the influence of pressures to do
Jalen, that's
illegitimate
you.
BS rather than big things like vote. Because the average the average young teenager, once they turn 18, are they really motivated to go out and hit that ballot box?
Jalen, is that you?
But but
Yeah, it's me.
a part of that is this, is that we don't take the time to talk to the young kids about that importance.
Facts.
We don't take the time to make sure that they go with us when we go to vote, when they're 14, 15, 16, 17, to see the process, understand the process, and see all the other people doing it so that they know that it's something that they should be doing. You can't wait till it's time for someone to do something to try to educate them on how it should be done, or even a little bit of the process, and then expect them to do it successfully.
And I'll tell y'all something else, right? I'm a mom of a 23-year-old, a 20-year-old black boy, and a 16-year-old girl, okay? And in this age and era that we're in the age of the Aquarius, age of information. We're technology, most of these kids are being born into it, okay? And as more truth is being uncovered with that flood of information, there's also a lot of confusion. So what these kids are seeing is so-called street niggas that they supposed to look up to like big homies out here on Fent and hide and still asking them for money. They're not gonna respect you as a big dog. They see the church and how the church has lied and not came outside of the church and how they've hidden certain truths. Guess what? That's why the churches are empty now. And then they see politicians and they see how this country has historically done us and all the lies that are still being told. So guess what? They say, well, fuck it. Why are we gonna play politics? Because how is it gonna benefit us? They're gonna do what they want to do anyway. So at some point, you got to read the room and figure out how to get these children want and only respect truth. The problem
You know
is,
what else?
historically, we have been conditioned, our grandparents were conditioned to take some crumbs and shut the fuck up. Let them tell whatever lie they want.
But
Okay? And
I'm gonna say this.
that's why we are
I'm
losing our youth.
I'm gonna say this too, because nowadays we living in a time of a generation where young individuals are dying at a rapid rate and not caring a lot. But what always got me is the fact that when I look back and think, if my elders were willing to die to place a vote, it must have meant a whole lot if it meant your life, because people were trying to take our lives for our vote. So that kind of in itself had me at a mark where I was like, okay, this must mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, I
Hey,
mean,
you're right,
you know how
but
they say,
that's
you
what
know
I
how they
said
say, hold
earlier.
on, let me just say this. Let me just say this. You know how they say nowadays somebody will kill you over $50, $5, $10. Okay, well back then they was trying to vote. Oh man, what the so that must mean it must meant more than that $5. Cause $5 back then was a lot of money, but at the same time, the vote must have been worth more than that. You
But
see what I'm saying?
but that's what I was saying earlier, Tex. They wasn't doing that for them. They were doing that for us. But are we going to do that for our great grandkids and grandkids? that's the issue that we're having right now, is that, most people aren't living and thinking about the generations that's coming after them and the effects of our actions on the life that they're going to live. Whereas our great grandparents and grandparents had that forethought.
Okay.
It seems to me like it's a cutoff, like a cutoff vote, whereas like, all right, if y'all don't buckle up and get with it for certain things y'all need to do, when all the representatives is out, y'all all just gonna listen to whatever they claim to bring or claim to represent, and you're gonna vote on that. If you didn't miss all the rest of the votes, if you didn't do like your elders told you to do, to vote like I died for, then when the majority vote comes on, it's whatever they're selling you. But then they might not even represent that when they get into office. You see what I'm saying?
And that's why I think
Yeah,
that when it
but
come down to it, bro, can y'all hear me? Or am I? Can y'all hear me?
You A-okay. You A-okay, Taylor.
All right.
yeah,
So that's why I think where it come into, like, we lose the battle when it comes to just learning life. And I think that when it comes to, adults, children, all that, man, like, I think somebody was saying, I think that was Slaughter that was saying, we try to tell kids about voting once they're at the age of voting. That's the same thing we do with taxes. That's the same thing we do with so many other things in life. It's like we don't, equip our kids and even political thinking in the first place. So how do they even know what to vote for? You know what I'm saying? We, as black people, we have tied ourselves to the Democratic Party. And before that, yeah, we were Republicans and all that stuff. And the people use our history to manipulate us. The history that we should know, that we should understand, know why were we Republicans at first? Why did we go to Democrat? Why are, we still in a docile moment right now? Why we only own 1% of the wealth in America right now? Like, I don't feel like my people died, my ancestors, they died for the right to vote. They died to be a man. Vote just came with being a man in America. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's so many things that we miss when it comes to this. That's the reason why we don't have people that are interested in voting, because it's people still trying to figure out how to live. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? In the society. So that's the problem where we get that with the whole politics situation, where we have three black candidates and 2 white ones, and 9 times out of 10, one of the white ones is most likely gonna win, or the black candidate that didn't mean any of us any good. You know what I'm saying? That's where the problem and I don't know specifically in those candidates, so I don't want to speak for Alexandria. I don't know, but I'm just saying that's how I see it happen a lot of times in my neck of the woods. I'm here in East Texas. Is that shoot? It don't matter if it's 5 black candidates. The one that's for us is not gonna win, because 9 times out of 10 we only voting for a nigga because he black.
You know what? And when you said what you said about what your elders died for, I feel like they died for what we're missing now, because it's been so much of a distraction. They died for the right to stand on something, to stand for what my children need and their children will need. And then when we're put into a ballot where it's a popular vote, it kind of distinguishes what they were here what they actually stood for, because now we're kind of like going for the popular vote. So it kind of makes everybody look like, why do I even want to vote now? I think that's the distraction they put up in front of us for politics, to keep us from the vote, the distraction from the vote.
Yeah, I don't think we can be distracted from the vote if we're already politically equipped with what's going on. I feel like the people, I ain't saying everybody, because there's some people that just vote just because, you know what I'm saying, that's what they've been taught all their life. They're gonna vote
But
in the demographic of their
this
parents.
my
Hold on
question.
right quick. hold on right quick though. Rick. Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, you know what I'm saying, we don't have the political equipment to understand like what is this candidate for? What are these policies gonna do for me as an American, or if we're gonna go locally for my city? What is this gonna do for my city and my children? And how is this gonna help me and the people around me? You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that we ever really look into a lot of these things because, you know what I'm saying, they'll go on maybe 2 or 3 platforms, you know what I'm saying, talk about maybe 5 or 6 different talking points of what they're going to do for the city, but they don't really give us in depth. All right, this is what it's going to be. This is how it's going to be. Like I think Slaughter said something that was very, very smart. You know what I'm saying? Earlier, he was saying basically cutting the funding of how they put millions of dollars into these campaigns. Why do I need to see you on TV and you in my city, man? Hey, come, you know what I'm saying? Find out where they having these meetings, these local, like one thing I don't like about my city, we have a black mayor, but the city council meetings, I never see them there. I'm subscribed to every time I see a city council meeting in my city, I'm watching it on YouTube because they posted on YouTube. I never see him at any of the meetings. Why is that? And I don't know how politics works to the greatest degree in my city, but I would think that my mayor would be there. The black mayor who, you know what I'm saying, supposed to be representing us should be at damn near every, if not all of them, at least most of them, right? So it's just like, I feel like it's a big disconnect when it comes. I think they throw stuff in our face to make us think that, all right, you winning because you got this black guy in a position of power, but 9 times out of 10, he's just a puppet. I'm finished.
Anyone?
What happened? I'm sorry, y'all. Bring it back.
You said bring it
I
back,
just pretty
bring
much
it
said,
back. You know, she's about, you know.
I'm gonna say in so many words, I just basically said that I feel like with political intelligence, we would, you know what I'm saying, be more equipped to voting and funding politicians that we need and stuff like that. I feel like that's where our biggest downfall is, that we vote with an ignorance to a degree, and not everybody. Like I say, it's plenty of people that are politically aware and politically equipped, but it's a lot of us that think that just voting is all it is to it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're writing letters to these congressmen and putting money and funding into politicians that these parts of the game don't exist to them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand that. To me, it just don't make sense to me.
So I agree with Miss
Mhm.
Kanisha Smith when she says that how can we even play in politics when we don't have the money, the resources to put behind a political candidate. So I absolutely agree with you that people they don't understand that that's how voting works. So my thing is until then we have to have somebody like Texas acting Jack Henry, NAACP, our leaders, our men, our churches. We have to hold them accountable. They get tax exempt, they get all kind of fucking benefits. And we have to invest in the economic development of our own communities. Okay. We have to. We gotta. How long this country been playing politics since before all of us was born? Realize that politics is how we lose every fucking thing any goddamn way. So until we start investing in our own communities, and until we start pulling together our own resources, until we stop discounting the crackhead and all this that, baby, all we got is us. Quit looking for a savior. He ain't gonna come. He ain't coming. The nigga ain't coming. Not
He
now.
coming. He coming. He coming. He coming. He coming as your local politician, your local mayor, your local running candidate. But what it is it take look, every anybody, anybody listening in our audience, you could be the next candidate that we need. But
You
it
gotta
takes the
not take the
people.
money.
It
You gotta
it
not
takes
take
the
the
people.
money. Every
It
politician get
takes
in
the
there,
people.
they take the money. They go in,
But
and even if they do have some sort of small fire ignited for the communities in which they are serving or trying to serve, they have more greed, self-greed than anything else. And then they allow these people to feed them the shit from the ant that ate the breadcrumb that they threw off the table. And then when it comes time for them to bring up those important matters, they go, hey, you forgot I gave you that ant shit.
Madam, that's politics. Madam, that's politics.
That's
but that's what
politics.
it
That's
takes.
the game. So when are we going to stop playing that game and start playing our own? We're paying
It
rent.
takes
We're paying rent.
takes
We're
the
paying
people.
mortgages on land that was ours. The political system came in and told us it wasn't ours no more. The
It takes
Homestead
the
Act,
people.
all of this other
It takes the
bullshit. It takes people to stop looking outside of their community for someone to care more about their shit than them. Nobody is going to care more about your shit than you. If you don't care that ain't no vegetables growing in your community, who the fuck gonna care if y'all eat right? If you don't care that ain't nobody in your community owning shit and you ain't buying it from them, who gonna care whether or not y'all got something? Nobody.
And
Nobody.
the damn sure ain't gonna be the politicians. I'm gonna tell you that now.
But madam, you gotta listen. I understand what you orchestrating. I understand the symphony that you playing. But let me hip you and privy you to situations of the fact that it could take you. And when you become that person, when you get into the office, all the things that you know that can make us better, certain people already in politics ain't trying to hear that. But they will give you money for certain things. But your people, your following support you. You see what I'm saying? And they want to sway. What they give you the money to do is to sway them in certain direct. That's why certain. That's the comfortability of politics. But many, some few might not get swayed into that of the politics, and they still have that cause. Because everything that you're telling me right now is to the choir. I'm right there, preacher. But at the same time, to them, eating good foods, caring more about this than that, looking more into this than that, the the political heads that give you the funding to do that ain't concerned with that. They concerned with what's keeping their pockets aligned, how they've been aligned. And that's where um the problem lies, so
The
to speak.
bullshit. Let's call it what
But
it is.
Tech,
Right.
can I ask you a question though? Now, how did the politicians how they get their pockets lined up? Because a lot of it, yeah,
Because
it might have came from
let me
different
show you
government
something.
entities.
Let me show you something. Let me show you something.
But
If I stand on something and I got into a political stance or an office because of the people, and now I'm aligned with politics that have funding to invest in what the people want, because now it's just like it's like we've been talking, it's like a popularity thing. The popularity vote voted me to speak for the people, so now I'm in this corner, I'm in this circle that nobody's close to. Now I'm the representative. Now if we talking about funds that need to be allocated, you got to talk to me because the people allocated me to be the speaker of the funds. But
Okay,
then
Tech,
when they
but
start talking
my
that money,
bring it
hold on, hold
home.
on, hold on,
my
hold on, hold
question
on,
should
hold on,
have been
hold on,
more.
hold on, hold on. But when they
I feel like
start
my question
talking
should
that
have been a
money
little bit
talk,
more. Okay, go ahead.
but
All
when
right.
they start talking that money talk now, it's like, am I still for the people, or do I want to stay in this office that I've been here at, where I see the money is at, and they see I'm with them, or I can do things they want me to do to stay in this office. Now it's not about what the people elected me to do. Now it's about staying where I'm comfortable.
So, Tex, here's the problem. Um, we live in Rapides Parish, Louisiana. Down here, Tex, you would think we are a metropolitan area. Okay, we are the central hub for many other cities and towns and communities around here. We have nothing on our river. Okay, the biggest company we have here is Procter and Gamble. Big companies don't come here. You know why? Because the powers that be don't want them here. They build banks and motels. That's how you know it got money here. But we are the most impoverished place in Louisiana, damn near. You got to understand that for as long as the profit is prison, then there is not a politician that is going to hang on. You're not hold up. As long as there is profit in our prison system, they are going to, and when I say they, I mean every politician around this motherfucker. They are going to continue to smile in our face and stab us in our backs. You're looking at a city, a metropolitan area who's 8 in the United States on most dangerous places to live. But nobody from outside of Louisiana has probably ever even heard of us. Okay?
In business, you know what I'm going to tell you? Show me.
Nothing. Hang on. You're talking about a place who defunded the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, who stopped it from being so that if a young man or woman got into any criminal trouble in their youth, they had an alternative to go into the military rather than to prison. So now what they have done, instead of putting money into our parks and recreations in the inner city, instead of funding our YMCA and our Boys and Girls Club, these motherfuckers have actually just built a youth cell at the Rapides Parish jailhouse. Do you understand me? So here's where we have all the powers that be investing into other brown-skinned people whom call themselves leaders so that they can lead us instead of to water straight to a puddle of piss. That's
and you know how you counter that? And you know how you counter that? Instead of sitting there, listen, this is my whole thing. I told you I'm the answer. I am Sway. I'm like that nigga to Kanye. I come with the solutions. You know how to counter that. We know the problem. We see the problem. When we see the problem, we come up with answers. What does that equate to? What does that equal to? They're not trying to help us. So what do? Help ourselves. You put money into the prisons, we in the prisons. No, y'all, we not gonna have these Negroes up in here all day on this, and that, just doing their time. We gonna transform them. We gotta put, if that's where they want to put their money at, and that's where our people are at. No, okay, well, our programs is going also into transforming our people from what you think they are, because we know how powerful they really are. This is the thing. You got to counter. You got hold up. Don't argue. Hold up, madam. For a second, don't argue with me. Think with me. If that's where the money's going to, and that's what they want, then we got to get in those areas to counter what keeps the cycle going. Because we're not part of your cycle that you're creating for us. That's all I'm saying. We got to think of the solutions.
Okay. So what I'm telling you is we have that. We have Brother Bernard, who is the president of the he's the general for, help me out, y'all, Black Panther Party, the Alexandria chapter. His wife actually heads the Reentry Solutions. It's where they actually work with people who have been released from these jails and prisons to help get them back ready for the world. But here is what I'm telling you. We have rules. We don't have laws. Do you understand? So until our churches and our men step up, we fucked. And that's just the blind, ugly truth. Anybody from Alexandria in the chat or on the panel, tell me if y'all agree or disagree with what I just said. Until our church homes and our men step up and be willing to die behind this, be willing to be in jail behind it, then we are fucked.
I agree with you on my end. I don't know if I can't speak for Alexandria, but in my life, I know that it's a lot of men out here that, you know what I'm saying, are docile and complacent with how things is, and that's some shit that I don't sit well with. And what I was trying to build with you, hold on, right quick. what I was trying to build with you, Tex, was that the people can fund things. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't need to go to politicians to get money. None of that shit. We have a $1 trillion spending power, something like that. Probably even more at this point. But we had about $1.3 trillion spending power, so we can fund shit. We can do things. You know what I'm saying? The things that we fund everybody else. We fund Balenciaga, Gucci, Adidas, Jordan. You know what I'm saying? We fund the prisons with our bodies and everything else. What we need to be doing is taking ourselves, figuring out, all right, what is our common goal? What is our common denominator? What makes us all have something that we're in agreement for, or just the majority of us or something, and fighting on that principle alone. But we too busy like, nah, man, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, oh, I'm Muslim, I'm Christian, I'm this, I'm that. We stay divided. And hold on right quick, my son got his head stuck.
Now, I will say this. I don't agree with you on the death or prison thing, Crystal, because I can't help anybody from prison or by being dead.
Oh, I'm with you on that. I'm saying those soldiers that's out there already. If you are
No,
already in
even though even those soldiers.
I'm saying the little slime.
Even those, I get what you're saying, but even those soldiers can't none of them help from the grave or in prison.
Okay,
It's
so
about it's about a shift in thinking, and it all goes back to what I said earlier: birth to age 7. Everything has to be set during that time. Everything. How your children are going to listen to you. No, all of that's going to be set. It's going to take 2 or 3 generations. It is what it is, but it's got to be deliberate. It's got to be deliberate.
This wasn't done to us without the shed of blood. It won't be corrected without the shed of blood.
Big facts.
That's just the truth.
You know something? That's another conversation on a whole different level. What y'all talking about?
That's what I'm saying. In order for us
I get what you're saying.
And guess what?
I get what you're saying.
My thing is, every one of us are needed. If you little slime and you actually are a warrior at your core, because everybody that's out there ain't a warrior at their core. But if you really are a warrior at your core, we need you. We need you. Because it will take bloodshed. And you will have to come. You can't just come. Well, we're gonna just do the right thing and pray our way through. And when they come at us and we face this obstacle that they've thrown in front of us, we're just gonna pray our way and move around it. No, the fuck we ain't. We're gonna do what we do when little slime play with us. That's what we're gonna have to see about it. That's just the honest to God truth that nobody wants to face. Because it talks about murder. It talks about death. Guess what? We already getting murdered. We already dying. It will take work, hard work, dedication, resources, but let's not forget to include it will take our soldiers. We need our own military. They have their own. This government has its own military. The police is a gang. It's a military. We need to be police in our own communities. When somebody in our community is doing something and they are an enemy of our community, we need our soldiers. We need our police. We have to police our own as well.
Again, that's
go ahead.
Like you saying that another conversation. You know why? Because before, when I grew up, there was no snitching campaign. You know why? Because everybody knew if you wasn't doing nothing wrong, then it's okay to say what you saw. Correct. But now it's, oh no, you a snitch, you doing this. I'd be like, hey, listen, like I used to tell the kids all the time when I was working in the juvenile system. If you gonna say no snitching, when somebody knock your mama upside the head, you keep singing that same no snitching song because it can't go both ways. If you want somebody to tell when it happens to yours, then somebody needs to tell when it happens to somebody else's also. It's just that simple. We get rid of these cats that's saying, "Oh, ain't no snitching, no all of this in the neighborhood," because the big homies ain't never told me that when I was growing up, because I wasn't involved in nothing that they was doing. So why would they have to tell me no snitching? That ain't no code that every average person lives by. But that's the problem, is
Hey,
that everybody want to put people in categories that they not in. Everybody not in the same category. So you don't live by the same laws, rules, whatever you want to call it. Everybody don't live by that. So everybody shouldn't have to be forced to die by that either.
I mean, the whole thing that we talking about right now, I feel like it's to change the whole rule standpoint because we see how far that has got us. Because I grew up under similar but different. It was like, if I had to find out something, nigga, I'm gonna go do what I gotta do to find out the information I need to find out to get to who I need to find out, who did what to get to, what I need to get to. But now we're in a day and age of that shouldn't even have to happen. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't even have to find my own justice. Um, we're in a state of we're all moving together. So it won't be that crime inflicted in our own communities, whereas somebody has some type of feelings of regret and revenge and this and that because we're moving together. That's where the whole confusion has been placed upon us. We've been separated. These guns have separated us. These political parties are separating us. The female rap, male rap is separating us. The status of this and that and crime and if you got this, I'm gonna take that. It's too much rhetoric going out here that's just rampant, and we're not moving as a unit. We're not moving as a black unity, and that's what's really separating us. And if I'm just looking at it like if it continues to go worse than good in the next couple of years, uh, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out. We need to be more together because ain't hey, you could be tough. There's nothing wrong with you being tough for acting like you tough, but how far do that get you? That's always what I've been taught. You know what I'm saying? We've always been better together. We've always been better speaking, dialecting, and talking amongst ourselves to express our own what we actually are going to in the similar struggle. So how can we get out of this struggle? Not that I'm in a struggle, nigga. Fuck you. I ain't worried about what you got going on next door or around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro. We in the same. We are brothers, sisters in the same struggle against the same system. But we have so many opinions nowadays in this Pandora's box called the internet. Let's express it. That is so much conflict rather than congregation. It's so much conflict rather than congregation that we connect to each other because we're in the same pain, we're in the same struggle. How can we build out of this and make it together? Why are we fighting ourselves?
right. And
Jack.
what I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris. If you got a question, I'm gonna have to jump off. But I did make a statement before I jumped off. But go ahead and ask me what you.
Oh
What,
man, I guess I waited too long. If you look at
go
the
ahead.
screen, I have your favorite subject up,
What's that? Oh, Art.
and I was going to ask you to help make some sense of all of these documents. What
Well,
is it? What was it supposed to do? Did they do it because our Jock Roy is actually using what he did with the Spark program as a campaign. It's a resource. Like, hey, Fuck with
Right.
me because I did spark.
Right, right. But and here's what I was about to say, and here's what I'll say in quick minute. Yes, he has his talking points about Spark, but those talking points didn't benefit anybody in Southeast Alexandria. It's just as simple as that. And so the people he's speaking to are the people who live out in West Alexandria. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna jump on off, guys. You know, right now, I hear we're talking about everything that's in front of us, but we have an election, and I'm specifically talking to the folk here who are right here in Central Louisiana, Alexandria specifically. We got an election on Tuesday, I think it is, and it's really concerning at this point as it relates to us getting out there and going vote for the right candidate that need to be voted for. I'm not suggesting any candidate or anything like that. I'm just saying it's an immediate problem that's right in front of us. It's one of those problems that's in front of us that we say we need to be jumping on and showing that love to. And so my thing is right now, I think we need to, definitely focus on this upcoming election and figure out how we're gonna weed these BS kind of things that some people are saying that are good, spark for and say that ain't nothing but a bunch of BS. We need to have the ability to talk about the idea that, we got a candidate that's sitting here saying, I got a solution on day one to the energy crisis that we're into right now. And he's the person that created the damn problem. You know, he's the person who actually every month, we got people who can't make ends meet. But yet and still, we got this election that's coming from us on Tuesday. And hell, we as a community, we're 60-some% of the population, according to Crystal. And hell, we got a split down vote, and we ain't gonna even have a conversation in the pie if things go the way that they're looking right now. If you look at the data coming from the early voting, we're about 60% of the population. We turned out much less, so we are really disenfranchised as it relates to going to vote, and it's because we all so damn confused. We got to figure out a way not to deal with what's going to need to be happening tomorrow, but next week. Shit, we got to figure out what's going to happen on Tuesday and make a difference in what's going to happen on Tuesday. If we
Agree.
don't, if we don't make a decision between what's going to happen on Tuesday, all of these grandmamas that these 52% of the people who are sitting out here suffering month after freaking month, they're going to continue to freak. The crime is going to continue to go up. All of these things are going to continue to happen unless we get our heads out our asses and start talking about what need to be talked about. And number one, it is this energy system that's right in front of us. It is crippling us, and it's crippling us. And that's what's our biggest problem right now in front of us. We got to figure out how to tell our people, here's the one. Out of all these three people that are sitting up here who are asking for our vote, especially the ones that look like us, we need to figure out between now and Tuesday which one of them son of a guns we gonna vote for. That's what we need to be figuring out right now. But we are so damn distracted until I don't know what the hell gonna happen. Y'all
Okay,
have
but hang on, Jack, because see, hit dogs holler. All right, so first of all, my apologies because we did have 4 shows initially planned to discuss specifically that, right?
mhm, right,
Um, and then I had orders come in last minute for a pecan festival. I had a lot of other shit going on, and I just couldn't get here, y'all. And I apologize about that.
right.
And then when I came on today, that's what we're gonna do. But I did have my YouTube family that came in support of me,
Oh,
and so we actually talked about it on an overall point versus a narrowed in on our city point. Um,
uh-huh.
so what I proposed to you two, and that ain't even here either, so he must have been busy too.
Mm,
If y'all would like, y'all, I invite y'all over tomorrow, and we can go live from my house, and that way, Jack, you can actually stream it from um, Urban Cast as well, so that we can reach everybody that we're trying to reach.
right, right, right,
Um,
right. So I'm available. I'll definitely try to be available on tomorrow. Just let
because
me
it's Sunday, right? So we might want to do that on
uh,
Sunday,
let,
and
we, let's just get out of the church window, and we should be able to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you think about that, Mr. Slaughter?
Yeah, I'll let you know on that. Normally on Sundays, I do church and spend time with just my boys.
Family and family only. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So,
Twins.
but yeah, I'll let you know. And you're right, Jack. You know what I'm saying? Because if the election goes the way most, or I shouldn't say most, a lot of people think it's gonna go, it's people gonna be going backwards.
I'm gonna tell y'all
I,
this.
I, I just tell people, remember, you wanted change for a reason, and just because it didn't work this time, don't mean you revert back to the old system.
They
No.
giving this black man 4 years, and 2 of those years was COVID. And they said if you didn't go in the Atlantic and jump through that fire ring with gasoline draws on, and then make it back to Alexandria without sweating, then we want you gone. Basically. Um, but I want to tell y'all my experience, right? So y'all know I'm working with the campaign to re-elect Mayor Hall, right? And I'm sitting under the tent the other day, Jack. I don't know if you've heard of this that's going on, but I had someone to come, and I won't put their name in it because of their employment. But they came and they said, "Hey, look, back in 2008, I got, I did my time. I finished my probation. Back in 2013, I was pardoned. Uh, and in the last mayoral election, I voted for Mayor Hall, but I don't think that my registration. They're telling me they can't find my voter registration." So I did my due diligence. I used the tools and the resources as protocol said, and I called, and they in fact told that person that they hadn't had them voting since their voting registration was inactive since 2008. Okay.
Mhm.
Now that person, I know that they went voted in the last time that we were voting on mayors. I know this for a fact. The very next day, that person called me back and said, "You won't believe what happened to me. I got a phone call from a guy that said they had a warrant for my arrest for probation violation. I met the man, and he told me that he had to take me to jail. He had the man to follow him to the office of probation and parole. He pulled out his pardon. The man told him that could be forged. He said, "Well, you're not going to put no handcuffs on me. You're not going to touch me. Now, we can go to the office of probation and parole," and they go over there, and the probation and parole officer is like, "What are you talking about? This man has been off of probation since 2008. He has been pardoned since 2013. Do you know what they told him with the voter registration people?
Mm-hmm.
You can't vote Tuesday, but you can vote in the December election." How in the fuck do you know that there will be a December election? How do you know that? And they told him, when you voted for the last time, I bet you voted Democrat. These people are going into this system, and people who have been convicted of a felony but have taken care of their business and done their due diligence in order to be able to participate in the voting process now have their registrations being deleted.
There is an election protection organization that I'll send you the contact information on for that one, Crystal, because they are the ones that can definitely look and drive into what's going on. Unfortunately, he might be in a situation where they done already pulled his record and his name is nowhere in the voter registration roll. And yeah, they can get it corrected, for the next election because they realize they made a mistake. But this is the kind of bull crap that's actually going that a lot of our people are going to experience. And you just imagine the taste that's going to put in their mouths on Tuesday. It's going to make them feel just like my vote didn't even matter. And and we need to have and there are the organizations that are there in place to deal with these kind of scenarios. But again, Crystal, I think Quinn, if you can do anything between tomorrow. If we have to limit our time, maybe 30, 45 minutes, brother. You need to take your lunch break, and then we send your family an apology or something. I don't know, but we need to make sure that we can talk about,
Bring them over, and the twins can play with KK.
outing or
It,
something. I don't know.
it sounds like to me what is usually used throughout history. It sounds like to me what is usually used throughout history, and it's the lack of knowledge. And I'm not 100 on it, but I'm just saying it's what it sounds like because I'm peering into a glance of a picture of something I'm trying to see. But usually, what happens is it's the catch 22. It's the loophole. If I get convicted of something, yeah, they put laws and they put statutes, and then they have ways that I can get around shit. But it sounds like, hey, yeah, I might have got pardoned. I might have got after so many years, I have the right back to. See, that's the thing about the law. You got to read into laws within laws. So it sounds like to me what the clausical law that they put before us is, yeah, you can get your rights restored under stipulations. So it sounds like to me like, yeah, you can vote, but then you have to reinstate again, or you
No,
have to
Tex, it was
re.
said to be a clerical
No,
error.
listen to what I'm saying. Because I know people, and even I get messages on my phone, even though I'm registered to vote. And it might be something that we don't know. That's what I'm telling you. Like the laws, it's like
But
when
that's what I'm
Kanye,
telling you, Tex.
hold on,
There
hold on, hold
was
on. When Ye came out and exposed things, it might have been exposure to people that didn't know, but it might have been like, oh, you just didn't know that. You see what I'm saying? Because in things that happen, even with our taxes and how we can get back more money and things like this, not until black people become tax people in certain things that they learn things and they can expose or they can just say something that's already known. And it seems like me in the scenario, like when we go to vote not even we, when I'm saying black people or convicted persons of darker persuasion, even white people, even anybody that falls under the statute. When you go to vote, yeah, you might get your laws back, rights back, and you might such and such and register, and then they'll let you vote for that one. But then, unless you for the next 4 years and you register again or you do something, you got to go through the same because you're not like the average citizen that hasn't committed a crime and been convicted and had these things stripped from you, that you have to jump through the loopholes that we're not going to tell you every time until it comes to that bridge you got to cross. And if you don't cross that bridge accordingly, okay, your vote doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? It sounds like another one of those
I did
things
what you
that black people had to go through in the civil rights because we didn't have the knowledge. And maybe right now is us learning, okay, this is why it happened. We won't know why it's going on until we discuss it, until we look into it, so it doesn't happen again. But that's what it, because I hear this a lot about all this confusion about, oh, I've been convicted and I went to go vote and my rights are supposed to be restored or this, that, and the third, and da da da. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like it must be some type of loophole or catch that we're not initiating, hitting on the head.
I feel
Yeah,
you, but
it's
that's
it's
what I
it's not a
try to
loophole.
do. That's not it.
It's not a loophole. It's just that you have to do the paperwork and you got to do the paperwork exactly right. You can do it, but if it's not exactly right, it's not gonna happen.
I
That's the
feel
key.
both of
You
y'all,
got.
but I'm
Yeah,
telling
no,
y'all,
no, no. I know exactly what you said, Crystal. Yeah, they
okay,
said it was a clerical mistake. I'm explaining to him that it has to be everything. Every I dotted, every T crossed, and it's got to be exactly right for it to be processed. And they'll take your money, and if it's wrong, they just gonna nope, reject it, and they probably not gonna respond to you. But that's that's a diligent thing that the individual has to do on their own. You have to be diligent about your own personal business. You got to. Ain't nobody else is gonna be that diligent for you. It's unfortunate that it shouldn't be as easy as, hey, yep, I done my time, my rights are restored because you go back to taking my taxes,
right.
but I
They
can't
don't they don't want us to
do,
win
you know what I'm
anyway.
saying? So
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah,
I'm
they
just
don't
saying
want us
though,
to win anyway.
You just got to be diligent about your information. You know what I'm saying, and understand the laws and ordinances of the land in which you live.
Yeah, because if they find a flaw in anything, they'll shut us down, take our money, and we won't know until we find out ourselves, hey, where the mistake was. I mean, it's kind of like the situation. I think it was a movie with Oprah Winfrey. Was it? No, no, no. What was that lady? When she went to go vote, the help. When she went to go vote over and over in the deep South, that's what they used to do to discourage us from voting, to discourage us from keep coming back. But she kept coming back until she could be able to vote. So it's like it's certain laws that we might not know, and like you say, we might get one thing wrong, and we think we good, but they won't even let us know. But we thinking, oh, we did everything right, and it's not to the last minute or later on that we find out, oh, you got to do this, the loophole, the extra, the catch. You know what I'm saying? It's the lack of knowledge sometimes.
Give me control over nation's money, and I care not who they vote for.
Come on.
That part.
You got to follow the money. Follow the money. You want to know what politician you should vote for? Find out who's funding them.
And that's a big old can of worms right there.
We gonna get into all of that. Jack
Big old
say he
can of
gotta go,
worms.
but Quinn, if you're Mr. Slaughter, if you're still available, I ain't going nowhere. We can get into it.
Nah, I'll leave that one for another day for me.
Oh man, I feel you. I feel you. I
I'm,
feel
a,
you.
I'm, a, I'm myself. I have to back out. It's about to be 4 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock somewhere on somebody's time, but it's about to be 4 o'clock. I'm talking about 2 o'clock somewhere on somebody's time. But it was a pleasure. It was an honor, and I enjoyed it. And I hope the audience is, with us figuring out things like we trying to figure it out, just trying to make sense of everything, you know. But until the next time, madam, I'm with you. I'm out.
Alrighty, baby. Thank you so much for your support. We gonna be back at this again tomorrow. We're gonna be back at it again tomorrow. I actually, it's my fault, y'all. I ain't lying. I am a flaker, okay? But life just be happening, and I don't know how to juggle it sometimes. Sometimes I have to do what's in front of me, and I had my business comes first. And I had orders I had to fill, and they kept coming in last minute orders, and I had to take care of it. I mean, that's what happened. And I was working on like 1 hour of sleep for like 3 days straight. So that's why we are in the 23rd hour trying to get this done. But Jack and I actually discussed when would be the best time to broadcast when we were doing our Wednesday shows. So I think it would be great for us to revisit this tomorrow and actually come with it. I mean, we because a lot of this stuff, Universal Collective shows on their platform, but they don't get very many people over there to see it. Just to be honest, a lot of people don't go where they can actually grow, because growth is uncomfortable, like Mr. Slaughter said when he first came in. So I'm gonna do my best to make sure that every day up until Tuesday, and then again for re-elections, because we've already been told that it's gonna be a runoff. How they know that already? I guess it's just numbers. Um, but we have to get people who have been on the inside, who aren't afraid, um, to risk it by letting people know, exposing certain things. This is campaign time. This is when people don't mind exposing shit. Look at all the stuff that we've had come out. Mark Woods participated in that man getting killed in the Rapides Parish jail all those years ago. That video just now coming out. The lady from January of last year that they sent in to go buy meth, while two officers sat by, and she had on a camera and a voice recorder and was molested twice And until she left out and went to those officers, nobody knew. And she was on an undercover sting. And the guy who did it got a plea deal, and she got arrested 3 times within the next month. That just came out during election season. All of these things that are just now coming out, it's great, straight, cool. I need all the snitches to come out now. Come on out. And I call them snitches because at the time that it was happening, they were participating in it. That's why I call them snitches, because you were there when it happened and you didn't say shit then. But now, for your own personal reasons, you're willing to come out and tell it. Well, come on over here to my platform, baby. I want you to come tell it. Okay. Yeah, Callie, I have you talking about the lady that was molested buying the meth? I did a show on it. It's on my channel. Let me go see what's the name of it. It's on there. I think it's the headline that the lady was molested during an undercover sting. I got like 134 videos. I really be into this shit. But hey, I guess more people grow and share it. Put me in the algorithm. That's what I'm saying, man. I have very great content. Put me in the algorithm. Just on this live alone, if I'm looking at YouTube Studios, I've had well over 100 views, but I've got 17 likes. The likes are important because it puts me in the algorithm. And every platform I've ever been on, I'm shadow banned. I'm not going to just show up. Facebook has a message on my shit most of the time that tell me that my stuff won't be seen. Won't be seen on the feeds, that I'll be reduced in the feeds of what they'll show. I don't give a fuck. Fuck it. I'm going to keep speaking my truth. I have been silent for 2 years because my grandfather, when I first moved back to Alexandria, I came in swinging. If I got to be here, then I'm going to be a part of change. I came in swinging. My grandfather, who died in March, told me to shut up. Which is crazy because his father left his mom and moved to California and created a new family because of the shit that goes on in this town. And he resented his father till the day he died for that. So, my thing to him was, Papa, well, aren't you tired of your kids moving? Aren't you tired of losing your family to the shit that's going on here when there is a solution? Like, we just got to open up our mouths and give the solution. So my papa dead now, so I'm back at it. Okay? I'm back at it. Jack called me the troublemaker. I'm back at it.
You say I call you a troublemaker.
Yeah, what you call that? What you call me? Good trouble. That go good trouble.
Yeah, good trouble.
Me in the grocery store, he said, "Oh Lord, that go good trouble." Yeah. Jalen, welcome back.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Yeah, I had to take care of a little stuff with my son real quick. But overall, this is a great topic, man. I really was enjoying listening to y'all opinions on the whole situation and everything. I love to see you involved in what's going on in Alexandria. Like, I try to do the same here in my city or my town. Really, I don't have a city. I'm in a town, but yeah, I try to do the same. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm more of the outsider here in my own town. Like, I'm in a place where I didn't really interact at a young age with a lot of what was going on. So now I'm kind of like trying to catch back up to all that. Well, while having the stigma of being the troublemaker, and I don't get the nickname of good trouble. I'm just trouble. So, but I still try. Son, hush, baby boy.
Listen, you're a father now. It ain't never too late. As long as you got breath in your body, it's never too late to get involved.
Oh, most definitely. I try my best though. You know what I'm saying? I try my best at the same time. Try to keep myself out of harm's way a lot of times, because I see that, you know what I'm saying? You'll be trying to, dang, boy, you always do that. I'll be trying to do something for the people and end up being, you know what I'm saying, just me with my back against the wall and all the opposition in my face. Like, well, what's wrong with this guy? Why? See, everybody else don't have a problem. You're the one that got the problem, So that's what I was saying and doing this.
When they find out that you the one that don't mind speaking up, you get 100 messages in your inbox saying, You need to cover this. And then when you cover it, they looking at you like, well, no, that ain't the case. And you saying, yeah, we all feel like this. And you turn around and look for the we all, and you the only motherfucker standing there. That's the yeah. I feel you. I feel you completely on that, Jalen. But listen, I would love to start. I'm waiting until after the elections, and I'm going to get with a few other people, and we are going to start making some noise around here, even if it's just us standing out on the steps of City Hall with our signs like the little Peach Turn did when they wanted all the money to go to their baseball field, and they got it. So that's something that historically we hadn't done. We hadn't had a real march here, or people pull together for a cause since the Gina 6. I don't know if anybody is familiar with that case, but it was huge. And it started in the town of Gina and it ended here in my city in Alexandria. You had Al Sharpton here. You had trail buses from all over bringing people, and it made a difference. Those guys were not convicted of that crime. So it just shows that if you make some noise, they have no choice but to pay attention to you. Unfortunately, here we don't make noise about anything. I'm talking about from utilities. Like my utility bill could be $400 actual use. The fuel cost is going to be $500. Okay, which gives me a $900 utility bill. Okay, when I only use 400, you're showing me that I only use 400, and this is everybody in this city because we don't have an energy company. We get our energy from the city of Alexandria. They play middleman. This bothers everybody. It fucks with everybody. Why is no one holding signs at the utility office saying, hey, you got us fucked up? You know what I'm saying? So, saying all that to say, it is my plan to noise. And Jalen, if you need me in your city, let me know. I got some people who don't mind grassrooting. My cousin Kenya, I showcased her on something before. Let me know. We coming.
Oh, for sure, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, more so in my city, man. We just gotta get you know what I'm saying, our young folks to get off the dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? The youth and the elders are completely disconnected, and I feel like it's always been like that for a long time now. Like, you know what I'm saying? The used to be young heads, they grow up and they get it, but nobody ever tries to reach back down and give game to the youngsters. And I think Slaughter was saying a lot of that with the whole, you know what I'm saying, from a child to seven, you know what I'm saying, or an infant to 7 years old, like that molding stage, like people don't really take advantage of that. And I feel like that was another part of what I was saying with the men being complacent and docile and how things go, because a lot of people they cool with not being there to raise their kids till their kids is talking and running around and got their own personality and all that now, and you with no part in shaping none of that. But you feel like you have a say so in the matter of what this kid does and stuff like that. That's why I'm always here. I'm 24/7. If I'm not working, I'm with my son. You know what I'm saying? So I huh?
Salute.
So I try my best to be there for him, and like I say, it's hell. I'm glad that's why I ain't trying to have no more right now, cause just dealing with this one, it keep me up at night, and I feel like we all gotta just be me more into doing that type of stuff, and when we start with the youth of our own kids, then when the future comes up and we have all these questions about what's going on in society, the fathers will have a say in being like, hey, well, shoot, you know what I'm saying? I was raised in mom. Where was you at, bro? You know what I'm saying? Young blood or whatever the fuck, when, you know what I'm saying? Like, this was going on. And I seen your kid out here doing this. And I tried to reach out to him, but he was looking for his daddy and you wasn't there. Or he was looking for his mama and you wasn't there.
Right
Like,
up.
I feel like a lot of people don't get that don't get that shit when it comes to these communities that we got. Cause I got like a lot of stuff that I be seeing going on in my neck of the woods, and a lot of it is just immature young shit. But the niggas be in their 28, 30s, 30, you know what I'm saying, 40s, but they still going off of shit from when they was like in high school and how things was playing out in high school and still living that like dream of life and shit. Like, I just don't get it, man. Cause you know what I'm saying? I feel like I done grew from that and I evolved, but I know everybody ain't gonna be like me. But I just think that it would make so much more sense to, you know, actually care about what's happening, what we putting out into this society.
I'm a court life genius. Them niggas in Never Land, right next to Peter Pan, because nobody wants to grow old. You know what I'm saying? And I hear so many people my age or a little bit older who always talk about when the old people was here and ain't no more old people that do this. And I always tell them, motherfucker, we the old people now. Those old people that we respect so much from doing the things that they did when we were children, they didn't always live like that. That's where they got that wisdom from. But they did what they were supposed to in this thing called life. And they stepped up in their cycle when it was time. So they went from doing childish shit to young adult stupid shit to elder type shit. But every old motherfucker ain't an elder. And that's the problem here, is that you got people 35 plus who still trying to move like they 19, 20, talking about why the kids ain't doing what they supposed to be doing. You in their motherfucking way. The same God that covered us when we was out there is the same God gonna cover them. But you have to be what you're supposed to be. If you're not moving in a manner of a big dog, or OG, or elder, then guess what? Them children lose. And I'm with you on that. So let me tell you the benefit. I have one son. He's 20. Once he turned 16, 17, 18, he started losing his fucking mind, okay? But because I was the mom who was there on the baseball field. I was the mom who was there on the football field. I was the mom who was there on the basketball court. I was the mom who was there at school. And not only with him, but all of his little friends who may not have had a mother like me. I made sure to include them as well. When I took my children to the lake and taught them how to fish, my Suburban was packed. My Tahoe was packed with other people's children. When I did certain things at my house with my kids, hey, come on over here. And because of that, when my son went out there to them streets with his peers, Jalen, guess what happened? They chased that nigga away from there. Man, go ahead. Because Nana Krista ain't did, man, go ahead. You ain't got this to do. Go ahead. He had to go start fucking with people that nobody even knew, because everybody he knew wasn't having that because of who I was in my community when my children were growing up. I had that respect from children that people threw away, including their own parents. Them kids were safe at my house, and they got structure and discipline at my house. And because of that, I reaped the harvest from that. When my son decided that he wanted to stray away, them churn, I'm looking at text messages when I go through phones, because I still go through phones. I don't give a fuck. Leave it around me. I'm going through it. But I'm seeing where my son complaining because, they tripping, man. I came on the block. They come on, I gotta go. They finna go. They leaving me. I can't go with them. Yeah. And it's because of who I was. So Jalen, keep doing what you're doing, because you will reap the harvest from that. Because the fact is, you can raise your kids as good as you want to, but unless you're gonna keep them in a bubble, everybody don't raise their kids the same, and they're going to go interact with other kids. That's why it is vital to not just say, I do what I do for mine. If they ain't got nobody to do it for them, they on their own. Because guess what? That little hungry kid who got to get it how he live, who go to school with your child and see that your child don't, and your child and told them, yeah, this Christmas we going on family vacation here. That child coming in your house while you gone. You better hope they don't come in there with that pistol while you in there. You understand me? So you absolutely have to partake in the village. I'm gonna pass the mic, Jaden. I see you going to get your shit out.
Yeah. So I'm over here trying to figure out when to talk, but every time I open up this mic, my boy get to yelling about something else. So, but yeah, man, I try my best though. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's hard in this day and age because, like I say, I stand on a certain type of principles, and I want to instill that in my son. And you know what I'm saying? And and really any, person that come up to me and want to learn something, honestly. But in this day and age, it's like, shoot, not even in this day and age. I just feel like at a certain point in time, not having any type of standard of discipline, you know what I'm saying, morals, respect for people, it just started overwhelming. Like I'm saying, I feel like all that shit always been here. I just feel like now it's overweighing the righteousness, man, the goodness that people ultimately had always in them. You know what I'm saying? Or a lot of people did have it. And I feel like that bad side is just starting to outweigh more. Cause like me, I want my son to be like the example. I want him to be the type of nigga that, all right, if they can't get it from me, they gonna get it from my son because he move like me. You know what I'm saying? Or he move maybe in a similar way, maybe not exactly. But I know he gonna be his own man too. But you know what I'm saying? I just feel like we got to a point where it's hard to learn from from other people or learn from each other because we get on these phones or we get on the TV or we get around, you know what I'm saying, other, you know what I'm saying, people that are like echo chambers to us and just get and feed us more bullshit instead of actually challenging anything that we actually believe. Like one thing I'm really thankful for in my life is that even when I was a badass kid, I was around so many different people. Like Pakistanis and Ethiopians and different, just the way I ended up moving around in my life, even though I never really left a certain little area of the world, I still got to meet so many different people with different perspectives, and I never just shunned any of that shit out. I actually listened to it and respected it. And I might not always applied it, but when I finally got something that made me think like, oh man, I remember a nigga saying this, I actually, you know what I'm saying, had that to go back to and be like, yeah. So what he was saying wasn't just so far-fetched after all. And this is even from my own peers when I was a youngster. Because we don't, well, I think we don't realize that some kids are so damn smart. And some kids get it without even, you know what I'm saying, having to, you know what I'm saying, like be taught something. It's like they can observe it and just see it and just understand it and move along and apply it. And it's like, shoot, we just there to guide them. So when the shit get a little bit harder, they don't get swayed off that path. And you know what I'm saying? I feel like, man, like it's just truly hard these days because it's so many different ways to distract you now. So those bright kids, those people that's will be, you know what I'm saying, beyond their years and whatever, they got so many ways to go down. It's like, shit, you might think you got it, but this one nigga gonna keep trying to convince you that you don't. And shit like that, man. It's like it's really crucial these days. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's why it's important to learn who you are as a person and what it is that you want to stand for, what it is that you know, what's true, what's being you, what's truly being you. And once you get to that point, it ain't shit nobody can tell you. It ain't shit nobody can sway you on. But everybody isn't like that. Um, okay, baby. Jalen, you talking about your son, my granddaughter, like, okay, now that's enough of that shit. Um, but yeah, you know, but I think that it starts at home and then it trickles down into your community. And okay, baby, give me 1 second, okay? And I think a lot of us have the right idea. I personally feel like what's missing is a collective network. We don't get together with like-minded people because together we are stronger. Together we reach a broader audience. You know what I'm saying? And we just have to start doing it. We absolutely have to start getting with people of like minds and building together. Everybody doesn't have the same assignment. Some people's assignments will be the children. Some people's assignments will be drug addiction. Some people's assignments will be mental health. You don't understand what I'm saying? Some people's assignments will be
I
physical.
most definitely agree with you saying. And I feel
Okay,
like the only thing that's knocking us from that right now is that we get caught up in too many of these different nuanced conversations. Like we get into politics, we both want the same thing, but I might want to do it this way, and you want to do it this way, and we get so caught up on no, you should go my way, you should go my way, instead of we don't try to compromise. And I feel like that's where almost every conversation, like it's always it become a problem with where the solution gonna come from and oh you said a point, but then what happens if we do this instead of like, all right, you got that, this could be the areas where it's gonna mess up, maybe we should do this to try to combat that issue, or you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. It's just like we get too caught up on the what we gonna do when we come together that we never actually get into the room and come together.
big old fucking facts. Real big facts. So after the elections, I told you it ain't just your son. She just told me, like, come on, Gigi. Um, but after the elections, it is my plan to start assembling these type of teams And hopefully it works, Jalen. And if it works, then you'll be able to see that and implement that where you stay. One of the ideas I had for my hometown was incorporating our neighborhoods. So you get people whose family has been in these communities for generations, right? And you form an incorporation. You incorporate that community. And if each community is incorporated with one another, then you start purchasing real estate for that community. You form 501c3 housing authorities for that community. Or instead of housing authorities, because you want to promote people to build and be stronger, then you create houses where you can have low income rent to own in your communities. You have all these entrepreneurs that should do business network and internet work business with one another. And then the next city has taken a hood, turned it into a community that's incorporated, and now we're doing business with one another. And you leaving out big change, you leaving out the government, you leaving out all that shit, and you're actually building your own economical system. And that is what I am going to attempt to accomplish here. And it's because of my granddaughter. I have a grandchild. My family has been in the Sonia Quarter since the 1800s. I hate that now it's somewhere that my granddaughter can't go. You know what I'm saying? And I feel guilty. I feel obligated. I feel compelled to do something about it. So I am, and I get that I'm gonna run into a lot of opposition. But I know one thing and two for certain is that I talk to everybody, and I know that it's enough of us. It ain't got to be a lot of us, because most of the time when you got a lot of motherfuckers, it's a bunch of weak motherfuckers. So they don't count anyway. I like quality over quantity. So I'm going to attempt to get with a lot of like minded individuals and pull our resources together to get this done so that we can back Miss Kanisha Smith up. So you have Sonia Quarter Incorporated and All Mill Quarter Incorporated who are actually donating. It's the fourth quarter right now. A lot of these companies have to go ahead and throw away some of this money so they can get they funding again next year. That's what we'll have to do. And we'll dump that into things such as that. You ready? I thought I told you to call me when you got back so I can end my live. No. Yeah. So great build, y'all. I gotta go to real life. Tune in. I'll be
Salute,
back.
madam.
I
I was
will.
just saying salute. That was it. I was just saying salute. You have
All
a
right.
good one.
Thank you so much, Jalen, for coming up and building with us. I appreciate everybody in the chat that came over. I fuck with y'all. Y'all fuck with me. Make sure you turn your notifications on. Make sure you like the videos so that they can go into the algorithm. And if you want to, you can cash app your host. Okay. Yeah. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. God bless y'all. Peace.